All right, and we're live here at the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neal.
And this is Annabelle Lecter.
We had some technical difficulties, a little late, but we're here. We're only a couple weeks away from Halloween.
Not that bad. The guests tonight are Mr. Neal Jones and Ms. Annabelle Lecter.
Yeah, so we were going to have Jim Wynorski on.
Well, I already called him out on Facebook.
He's set in his ways, I guess, and
he is not showing up ways.
He did not show up yesterday at the test, and then today he just wanted to do a phone interview or nothing else. But as I explained,
he wanted to do something like with you
by
yourself.
I haven't already explained all this before. We can't do a phone interview for a live show. It's just not possible. But
he could do a no video for a live show.
I believe me, I went over this before we announced he was coming on.
Well,
but yeah, and
here we are today.
This weekend though, that should not stop you if you're in the Gardena cinema area. Go and see Cobra Gator.
Cobra Gator
cinema.
Share more. What is this Cobra Gator? It sounds like, is it like a snake with an alligator?
No, I don't really know much about it. I couldn't get he's very protective, which I understand. Doesn't want anyone seeing it before it premieres.
Yeah, but don't you want to have a sales pitch? Check out.
Yeah, I don't know about it though. I can't give you a sales pitch without knowing anything about
it. Oh, I mean, doesn't he want a sales pitch as opposed to being so secretive we don't even know what it looks like?
Gigantic mutated reptile attacks the population of an unprepared city. Starring Michael Madsen.
Oh, really?
That's cool. Yeah. So yeah, there's pictures on IMDb.
Yeah.
I'll grab some here.
Yeah, that would be sweet. There's some other stuff going on this weekend. I'm hoping, I don't know if Neal's going to be able to do it, to see our friend John Duggan and some other people too. There's Ed Neal, and
Ed Gwynn, Big Ed Gwynn.
And yeah, there's a bunch of people. So I'm still gonna hope Neal will go, even though he's kind of like,
no, I won't be able to go. But it'll be an awesome event, and I hope people go out there, and it'll be a great time. It's in Salem.
It's right near
Halloween.
Salem. So if you're worried about Halloween Salem being absolutely madness, it's right over the bridge. You can walk to Salem. If you go and see them in Beverly at the Cabot, walk over the bridge to go to Salem, and walk on back to Beverly. It's the best way to do it. What in the hell is this?
This is Cobra Gator.
I do not. What?
This is Cobra Gator.
Oh. There's them some eyes. Look at them fancy green eyes.
Looks like it's a green screen, I believe. But there's Michael Madsen.
Yeah,
with the
he's looking all Mr. Badass out there. He's like a giant compared to this child-looking man. That child-looking man is probably like a normal human, and Michael Madsen is just.
Whoa!
Oh dear.
Roger Corman presents Cobra Gator. It's one of the last films produced by Roger Corman.
So we've got some people in the audience. You guys feel free. You do not have to call in. We would love it if you would call in. And it's a StreamYard, StreamYard.com/R4WYAUE68J. Is that something we can roll on the bottom? Is it too late for that?
I can just post the link right here in the chat. So if you would like to stream into the show on the video, here you go. You can turn your camera off. It's fine. But there you go.
Yeah.
Come on in. You can talk to us about whatever's on your mind in the world of horror.
Or whatever you want.
Yeah. In the world of Cobra Gator.
Oh, my God. Cobra Gator. So we got that, and that's going to be this weekend out in Gardena.
Yep.
Good people out there running the Gardena Theater.
Yeah.
So let me
Chris
see.
Outridge here. Yeah, but Chris, if you would like to pop on. Oh, we have someone on the line here in the
Oh,
video.
yeah.
Lexi.
Hello.
Hi guys.
Whoa.
How are you?
Good. How are you? I'm not totally sure what this is. But I saw that you guys were doing a call-in thing and I thought I'd try it.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're
you know
here.
who we are.
Yes.
Of course I know who you are.
Okay.
My dear friends Annabelle and Neal.
How are you doing? Well, we already went over that. So what's up? What's going on?
Not much. Trying to figure out what to do to get ready for Halloween this year.
Oh.
So do you have any
Have you
plans
got
at all?
any kind of plans in any way yet? Like a
Sort of.
choices?
Yeah, well, I have the costume, which is important. I'm floating the idea of a Halloween party, and then the Saturday before Halloween, in Albany, near where I live, there's this old hotel that does candlelit concerts of like horror movie themes
Yes.
with an
Oh, that
orchestra.
sounds good.
So it's this beautiful like ballroom, and it's lit all by candlelight, and there's like a 4-piece orchestra doing like the theme songs from horror movies and stuff like that. So
Wow.
that's going to be part of the plan.
That's amazing. All right. So yes, doing that. Is the party going to be when you run yourself or when you attend?
When we run, so we actually just moved to a new house.
Oh,
Same city.
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. So we're proud. We're not quite homeowners yet. We're renting from my folks, but the plan is to
Mhm.
eventually get the house from them. And
Very
in the
cool.
meantime, we're looking forward to hosting some parties.
Very nice. It sounds excellent.
Yeah.
I'm psyched for you. Very
Yeah.
excited for you. It's cool.
So what's the
That's all I know
costume?
for Lexi. Yeah, what's the costume?
I'm a ghost. I'm a ghost this year.
What kind of ghost? A Charlie
Like a
Brown
sheep?
ghost?
What's that?
A Charlie Brown sheet
No,
ghost?
no, a little more complicated than that. I got a dress with a hood, a white dress with a hood.
Oh.
And I got some face stickers that I think will be kind of fun.
Mhm.
And like a gray wig, and then some sort of white accessories, white and silver accessories.
Oh. So you're like a legit, like ghostly figure that you would
Yes.
perhaps see.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah, and we'll be doing our
Cool.
annual Halloween contest, so you can send in a picture after you have your costume on. The winner this year is going to get a personalized 8-bit sprite, like you're from a Nintendo game, as you
Ooh.
in your costume.
Oh, that's fun.
Yes.
It's very sweet.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
How would I submit that?
You can just send it to either one of us or post it right in the Facebook group.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. It's nice to see everybody, whatever they're wearing, whatever they're doing, and pumpkins are also great. Just
Oh,
to share with the community, because it's really nice for everybody to share those kinds of things together. So that would be wonderful.
absolutely. I will do that. This is our season.
Is your lovely man have a costume?
He wants to be a character from Star Trek. He loves Star Trek.
Oh.
So I guess there's this character from the original series who had their faces like half black and half white.
Yeah.
Yes, that was
Yeah.
a very
Famous
powerful
episode. Yeah.
episode.
Yes, so he really liked that one. So his plan is mostly just to use the makeup and then wear like a Star Trek shirt.
Coolio.
So
Right.
Yeah,
he was not really a Halloween person before I got involved in his life, but he's embraced the dark side.
Very good. You brought that into his life. You should be proud of yourself.
Yes,
Halloween is important.
absolutely.
That sounds good. Do you have a favorite Halloween candy?
Ooh, I like Airheads.
Airheads. Okay, that's
pass
out
out
of the
the
box
Airheads.
one. Yeah,
Yeah,
And I
have
know
Airheads
that this is
here
not a
for you.
popular answer, but I actually like candy corn.
I do too.
That is a divider.
Yeah,
I can't be heaps of it, but a little candy corn is not bad.
yeah,
Just sugar. It's just like sugar wax.
yeah, yeah. Fond childhood memories, though.
I'm going to
Yes.
keep track of this. So everyone who zooms in tonight through Halloween, I'm going to keep track of favorite candy of Without Your
Oh.
Head.
And what about a yes or no to candy corn with it?
All right. So we have
Okay.
one yes
a
to
little
candy corn. So
divider?
far.
Yeah. One yay.
Candy corn, yes.
Oh, is Neal running Neal running
Yeah, I'm going to
a
keep
table?
track of it.
That's
Yeah.
what we're doing
track
now.
of it, all
You're
right.
inspiring us in this moment. We're making plans based on this call right now.
Uh-oh,
Jamie,
James.
hey Jamie, what's
candy
up?
corn.
Haven't seen you in a bit.
Oh,
Dave, we've got Dave. We've got someone that I do not know who is booing candy corn.
Yeah, Tacoon, boo candy corn, boo, I say.
Yeah, I knew that I wasn't going to get a lot of support on that one, but I will die on that
I'm
hill. But I
behind
think
you.
candy
Oh,
corn
yeah,
is okay.
I
You will
think that
die
might
on
be
that.
Slarty Bard Fest, but I'm not
Oh,
positive.
really?
Yeah.
The orange, white, and yellow hill.
I'm afraid to click on this.
Oh,
Who is it?
Hello. I don't know. All I could
Hello.
see was a ceiling.
And a head.
Hey,
there we go.
Hello.
Oh, it's Richard Fonseca.
What's up?
I was just
Got a gang here.
How are
Man,
you doing?
Good. How are you?
good. Lexi.
This is
This is
Richard.
Richard.
Oh,
Hi. Nice
Hi.
to meet you.
Nice to see you.
Lexi's a super person I've known for quite a while.
Yeah, I was
Long
just thinking about
time.
that the other. It's been like 10 years because I was in
Over 10
undergrad.
years. Over 10 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, since you were a child.
Yes. I was technically an adult.
You were
But
right. You were
I
right
was-
there.
Yeah, I wasn't really like an adult.
Now you're there.
I don't
Yeah,
think
I'm
any
so
of us
proud of
are.
how far you have come.
Oh, thank you, Annabelle.
Oh, Richard's out. He's
Oh,
like
whoops.
done.
Oh, yeah. Richard, you can call back
He'll be
in.
He'll be
We're
back.
going to pop back and forth here. We have to at least know what you think of candy corn, Richard.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, it is
So-
Slarty. Nice. Hi,
Yeah.
Slarty.
Should I
Howdy.
keep track of the chat, what they think of candy corn as
Yeah,
well?
Absolutely.
All right. So we
We've
got
a lot of voting going on in there.
yeah, we got 3 no's I see in the chat.
Mhm.
Dave, what do you think of candy corn? Oh, he says no too.
He already says
64.
no. Says fuck no,
Yeah.
actually.
But
Okay,
did we
okay,
get from
strong no?
Dean's
Yeah.
never had the candy corns.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe they don't have candy corns over.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dobbs never had it. Interesting.
Yeah. Maybe someone needs to hook Dean up with some candy
Yeah.
corn so he
send him
can
some.
discover for himself.
There you
He's
go.
he sent me some goodies from London before.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Dean Mia.
an international viewer. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Indeed. We have them.
It's interesting. I always thought Ricola is just like cough
Ricola?
drops.
Yup.
Yeah. Ricola.
Yeah.
I always thought it was just cough drops. But he sent me they also just make straight up candy, like hard candy.
Really?
Oh.
He
Does it
sent me all
taste
different
like
flavors.
the
Yeah.
cough
It was
drops?
good. They had all different kinds.
Oh,
They had like
interesting.
basic lemon and stuff, but some different herbs. I dug them.
Ooh.
But yeah, he's
Do
never
you
had it.
pass out candy, Alexi?
This will be the first year that we're able because in the past we lived in an apartment building that didn't have any family with kids. And when I
Oh.
grew up, we grew up on a very high hill. Our house was on a very high hill, so no one ever came.
No
So I'm
one climbed that
stoked to
hill.
see the little ones.
That's really cool. I
Yeah.
am almost always universally gone on
Oh,
Halloween, but I will put out a giant. One year I put out my giant basket of candy that says, with my prayers, please just take 2 or 3. And one year I came back and the basket was gone. The basket itself.
oh.
It tastes like fucking candy. All right, leave my It is a good basket.
Well, you know what's good about that is that Christmas is right around the corner, and then Krampus can get them.
Mm.
I like that. Well, you know, what my thought was going forward. So now I have a bucket and I weigh it down with very like rocks and metal.
Oh, there you go.
I have like a whole system now that they would have
You
to
need like
really
some kind of
think about.
trap underneath if they take the
Yeah,
basket.
Trap. The pumpkins are a trap. This year I didn't put pumpkin trap out because one year someone stole my pumpkins. And I was
Oh.
pissed. So going forward, I took toothpicks and broke them off halfway. I didn't put them where you could see them because I'm dark like that. I put them so if you wrapped your hands around it, they were like on the back bottom.
Oh no.
So you would just be impaled with toothpicks. And you know what? Don't steal my fucking pumpkins. and
Yeah,
everything
fair, I
do.
guess. Go on the offensive. Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, so I put out the airheads
Okay.
and all kinds of stuff like that. I do non-dairy in honor of my nephew who cannot.
Oh, yup.
Yes, so that is one of the non-dairies.
We haven't had trick-or-treaters here in over 10 years.
Because it's scary. There's no
No,
lights,
people- well, there is no
no
street.
sidewalk. There's like
Oh.
one light in the freaking mile radius.
Yeah, we used to have street lights when I was years and years ago. But yeah, no street lights, no and no like you said, no sidewalks. It's a bad area to walk at night.
Oh, yeah.
It's not dangerous. Like there's no thugs. It's not
Right.
bad
It's
like
dangerous
that
to get run over. Yeah.
because no one
Gotcha.
walks. so no one's paying attention.
Well, no, that's not true. People used to walk a lot, but now kids usually just stay in and play video games.
Oh, no.
Houses that hand out candy.
Drew,
No.
the hooligans stealing my basket.
Now here's a question. What kind of candy do folks think that I should give out for Halloween, that Matt and I should give out for Halloween if people are coming?
I mean, I think everybody has, like, when I was a kid, I liked the fruity things more than the chocolatey things.
I always
for
did
Milky
too.
Ways. I love Milky Ways.
I'm a big
Other than that,
fan, like Twizzlers or any kind of gummy candy.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's tough. But they do have these ginormous bags that are, it's like so many different things.
I was always happy if I'd get a savory thing, like a pack of pretzels or something, because you get all the candy, and then you get something a little salty, and it's a good balance.
Interesting. You were the person that wanted that, like, whatever box of pretzels.
Yeah,
You're a
pretzels
rare
or
man.
chips or, yeah.
You're the odd child because most
like
people are
that.
like,
If that's what I usually buy to give out, because no one comes here, then I can keep it.
back in our day, Lexi, older people usually would give out these little bags of pennies.
Oh,
And
yes,
maybe-
I've heard of this.
Yes, maybe
Yeah, they
nickels
ran
if you're
them.
lucky. It was very cute, but
Yeah. I mean, you could probably do something with pennies at one point. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, right. It's like
buy
10
a
cents.
5-cent one piece of candy.
there you go.
Yeah, when I was a kid, there really was penny candy shops where you could go buy candy for a penny.
Yeah. My mom has told me about those. Yep.
Yeah.
Now they're like $10 a pound or so, but they still call them penny candy, I think.
I'll tell you guys my favorite story about Halloween. So my favorite Halloween costume that I ever wore so far, because I'm certainly not done dressing up for Halloween. But my favorite Halloween costume I've worn so far, I went as Little Red Riding Hood, but after she had been bitten by the big bad wolf and turned into a werewolf.
I like this.
So it had this gnarly werewolf mask and werewolf gloves, and then the rest of the outfit was like Little Red Riding Hood. So it had this red bustier, and I was 17. I was just about legal, and it was a sexy costume. So we go trick-or-treating. We're like, all right, it's the last year we're gonna go trick-or-treating. We're 17, let's do this. So we get to this house where there's a husband and wife couple, and the husband accidentally drops the candy, and I bend over to get it, and his wife goes, oh, there's the treat.
Oh.
Well,
Oh, we got Dave Bailey. Before we get to Dave, here are some suggestions for candy to give out.
Oh, yes.
for what to
Okay.
do. Dave Deadman says anything Reese's.
Ooh, Reese's. Good idea.
Extra.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mini
Nope.
Snickers from Tacoon. Jamie Hill says chocolate.
Can't go wrong with that.
Jawbreakers and fireballs. I
Ooh.
personally not a big fan, but Jamie Hill. Kit Kats. Yeah, I like Kit Kats.
the Smarties person. Look at this.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're
Those
very
are good.
interesting. 'Cause there are things that I think no one is going to want.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, to me, the Smarties were always the one that'd be like,
Castaway. You're trying to trade candy between other children, and it's like, but people out there like it, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with chocolate. That's from Dobbs.
I
When I was in London with Dobbs,
myself.
we were staying by a pound store, and I was like, that's a really weird name for a store. Then I realized it's like our dollar store. Everything just costs a pound.
Yeah.
And then Dave says Brussels sprouts wrapped in Hershey.
Brilliant. I like the way Dave thinks.
I like that one too.
Dave's a hell of a guy. We're
Dave
sending-
Bailey,
we're sending-
Dave the cicada man friend.
Good.
Hey,
Good
what's
to
up?
see you here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Not. Actually, yeah. Usually, I have to wear my headphones, so I had them covering my
okay.
ears.
All right. Instead, they were blocking your ears, so you couldn't hear us.
Lexi, this is David. David. This is
Hi.
Lexi.
Nice to meet you. I'm Lexi. I'm one of the. Do we have a name for Without Your Head followers? Are they like?
Oh, you can call yourself my friend.
Okay, that too.
I
Yes.
didn't say-
Yeah.
I was
Without
calling
your
the
headings
nation
or
the nation of
something?
decapitation.
The Nation of Decapitation.
That was
Nice.
a
Yeah,
hell
we've
of a
actually
one.
I
met
like that,
outside of
actually.
the show.
Did you
That
just
is
come up
true,
with that,
we have.
Neal?
No, I had the nation of decapitation. I think it's a fun name.
It is.
I have the heady verse for the wrestling show. We need something.
What about the
headless verse.
Headites? Like the
The
Deadites?
Headites? I like that. Like the
Yeah.
Cenobites, the Headabites. Yeah,
Headites.
the Headites.
Well, I was
All
thinking
right,
like
yeah.
Deadites.
Okay, all right, that works. Headites.
Headites.
I've actually been meaning to wait, which way? This one.
Thank you, Dave.
Like post this, but I got
Oh,
all my,
sweet.
VHS
Oh,
stuff.
nice.
Oh,
So we've got a copy of Neal and Company's End Zone 2.
ooh,
Yes,
And
the
the
limited edition VHS tape.
very cool.
Yep.
There's not
Yours
many of those
Pretty
around.
hot on Amazon
nice.
nowadays.
He has the
Pretty sweet.
novelization. The what?
Yeah, I really actually want to read it. I really do.
do
I've
too.
got
I
it
can't
as
wait.
You find
Yeah.
out more about Backwoods Bob. You also find out the ending of the what happens after the end of the movie.
Who wrote this book actually?
Not
Not
Good
AI.
name.
Tell me it's not AI.
Oh no,
No.
Please no.
no, Neal.
No. I did not write it, but it's not AI. It is
Second generation AI. What the hell?
Is it a fake name as were many
what?
false
It's Jean
names? Oh, come on
Tempe.
now.
A
Jean Tempe.
ghostwriter, perhaps?
Yeah, I mean
Bio?
you know, you might know the man who wrote it. Yeah.
Is possibly a descendant of that man who actually wrote it, named Michael Epstein.
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right.
The Headless Crew. I like Headites. Yeah, Headites is a good one.
Yeah, I like that too. That's pretty good.
Thank you. Headites. We're moving forward in this world. Baba hands out the full-size candy bars.
I was thinking of
you're
doing that.
Sam's Club.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like a big. You got to be, but then you got to be prepared to give that out every year. You got to be. That's a big.
I think I could make that commitment.
They're like, what do you a cheapskate this year? Giving us the Smarties. Last year, he gave us a whole Milky Way.
Yeah.
David, what are your plans for Halloween?
I'm probably gonna go trick or treating with a friend's kid. I have because we were gonna maybe haunt. Like I don't know if you guys know Guthrie. Guthrie Lowe. He really does this crazy decked out like haunted house. Last year, he and I were the only people that did it, and now he's got like 20 people. It's insane. It's killing me. But I'm probably going trick or treating with a friend and her daughter. And because I know this really cool like street that they bring in private security, block off the street like to protect everybody because the people are all from like Warner Brothers and they do these crazy decked out houses and stuff. So it's probably going to be like full candy bar territory.
No, that's nice.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Get pictures, share them with us. It sounds super cool.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I will. I've been there several times. Like I used to live probably about 4 blocks away, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's insane.
It's
you
awesome.
know, I really think they bring in all the props from like Warner and just like deck this street out.
I can imagine being in the industry and having access to that anyone is going to want to be into that because why are people involved in film?
Yeah.
So amazing. It's so like, and I know like a couple years, probably 10 years ago, like we were just trick-or-treating with my buddy's kid, and like we were going by these houses randomly seeing like people that acted in The Office and stuff. It was like, what? So it's very cool being out here. Yeah, man.
Do you ever go to the horror trivia night in Burbank?
I went one time. I really want to be able to go and hold my own, but I went one time and I got my ass just
well, I was gonna say that you'll see some horror people there. I know David Howard Thornton actually goes now for Terrifier because he moved out there, and some other cool folks. But yeah, I always think I know a lot about horror, and then I went there the one year I was out when we were making End Zone 2 actually. And I thought I was doing pretty good, but those people are insane. They,
I think I went one time and they had to push me into like a group that was like, you know, kind of like they just took me in because they felt bad, and I like could not answer one question. Not one. I couldn't believe it. Like I grew up in the 80s. I love horror. Watched every movie at least that I thought, and could not even answer one question. I was humbled, very humbled, and I feel like I can't go back.
Shame.
I remember one of the questions. It was like, what was the kill count of RoboCop 2? And it was like 117 or something. I was like, how the hell would anyone just know this off the top of their head?
Okay, so the one question that I've always, like, for whatever reason, every time I watched Twin Peaks and they'd show the road sign, I was like, learn that thing, because eventually it's going to be like a trivia question. And I always forget what it is. And I'm like, God damn it.
That wasn't a question, though, was it? At the
I don't, like, it's been a question at a lot of places, I feel like, just because it's like, you know what? It's a population of Twin Peaks. It's so easy.
Yeah, there was a couple of groups that got every single question right. And I mean,
exactly.
Totally insane.
Like,
Was someone feeding them the answers?
No, these are just.
Every trivia thing you go to has at least one of those folks, at least one person who just knows everything. And you're like, how do you know this? Like, one of my other passions is horses. And I went to a horse racing trivia night, and there was a table of people who knew everything. And it's like, wow.
I cannot imagine. I've shown up for any time I show up for any trivia. I just enjoy the company.
Yes.
Yeah, we had fun.
Have a nice time enjoying the people around. That's about it.
I feel like if I answer one question there, I feel like I've accomplished.
That's a goal. I think maybe I should increase my own goals based on this. One trivia question.
They kind of they were getting mad because they fought over one question. It was like, you know, I could say horror nerds because we're all horror nerds, but like they were like, I thought they were gonna like get into like fisticuffs or something. They got really mad because it was how many different actors played who's the kid in the Terminator movies? John Connor. How many people? People? And so I forget the answer. But they started to fight because they said it's not said outright that the guy who plays John Connor in the original Terminator really is John Connor. It's just like insinuated because you see his back and he's sending his own dad back to, and so they were like that shouldn't be right because it's technically not really hit. Well, I mean, in the movie it's clearly him, but in the credits it doesn't say it's him. So it's like. But they get very mad about it.
You see it online. People get like real bent about.
Yeah.
Oh, well, so if you go like who's got the kill count, right? So Jason, Freddy, Michael, right? So, and I love this because really it is like kind of an interesting question. Like, in what timeline?
Yeah.
Right? So do you give Michael all of the kills for all of his movies or just one of the timelines, right?
Right. Yeah, because
I like that angle.
It's interesting. It really is. Because you can't, like, honestly, you can't give him all the kills.
Up to 6 is one timeline, then you jump to
right. But then Friday the 13th, so many people that are doing the kill counts would not think about, well, you can't put part 5 in there.
Right,
that wasn't
the first one, yeah.
Right? But I guarantee you half the people that are adding the kill counts up are adding part 5. So it's extremely interesting to me.
I think at least with those, if you ask one specific movie, it's probably like a reasonable number. Like someone would know like 8, like there's 8 people get killed or something. But this movie was over 100 for RoboCop 2. And I was just like, how could anyone know this?
That's wild.
Which again, is RoboCop 2 a horror movie or not? I don't know, but it was a question on the night.
Well, that was something that came up on my just on my stuff the other day. Was the idea of sci-fi and horror are so interlinked that they're like RoboCop, pretty sci-fi, but there are elements that are
right. But when Neal just said that, I had to stop for a second on what I thought Terminator was. Now I would say it's a sci-fi movie, but versus RoboCop, I'd say it's more of a horror.
It's set up like a horror movie because it's one like unstoppable like monster, basically a cyborg that's coming after people one at a time. I think Predator is more like that's really horror. because it's really a big. Alien to me is a horror movie set.
Absolutely.
What about The Fly?
That's a good one because it's definitely sci-fi, science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
But I would also label it horror. Both of them.
Now, my hope was, I mean, I'm not going to be the person who starts it, but that there's all these ideas of there's horror comedies and there's horror this and there's horror that, and just to have, instead of being like, well, is it sci-fi? Because that happens with thrillers, right? It's like, well, is it a thriller or is it horror? Mm-hmm. It's a horror sci-fi movie, and just let that exist, because that's okay for those to nest together like that.
Sci-fi. What's interesting to me is, and not everybody knows about this, but go back to the 80s, where in Blockbuster would that movie have been? Would you find it in sci-fi, or do you find it in horror?
Yeah, and sometimes it could be either way, but a lot. But I always say that when people want to, sometimes people will argue what genre movies, and they'll get really like silly. They'll be saying like, I remember when Walking Dead was real big, and someone in our group who actually ended up unfriending me because I thought it was a silly take. They were like, "That's not horror. It's post-apocalyptic survival drama or something." And I was like, well, that was not a category at Blockbuster. You couldn't go to the,
That's making me wonder now, did they have like a standardized system at Blockbuster, or was it one guy at each Blockbuster being like, well, I don't know, is this sci-fi, is this horror, let me flip a coin?
That's a good question too. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, who chooses it for the company?
Yeah.
It's going to come down to like, people have to decide. So
sci-fi with horrors gets me Sunshine, Alien, Event Horizon. Sunshine I talk about a lot, I think it's one of the more underrated movies.
I agree about Alien. I think that it's very science fiction. It's great.
I think it's honestly more horror than sci-fi.
Is there such thing though as sci-fi horror?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Is like,
I think Alien back in the 80s. I think Alien would have been in the horror section. Absolutely.
What if we make a new section that is horror sci-fi? As we've grown, well, horror is very different. There's that, but there are so many more blends between horror and, like I mentioned, there's horror romance, there's horror comedies, and there was a lot of those things just weren't around. You could have some silly horror movie that you laugh at, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be like Tucker and Dale versus Evil or something like that.
That was so good.
Yeah, horror has grown. It's like a parallel universe to like regular movies. There's everything you could have. Just put horror and you've got it. So we've got this whole world of things that are cooler than normal things because there's horror.
So I came to LA in like 2001, and that was like the first year for the Shriek Fest Film Festival, and I had a short film called Night of the Not So Living Dead Guy. And it was like it's kind of like stupid comedy horror where
we played it at a Severed Limbs one year.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. So for me, I didn't realize at the time that there weren't really a lot of horror film festivals out there, and I just can't even imagine a world where you wouldn't be able to like do a short or a feature and like take it there and find the like-minded people that would watch it. Like, that's wild to me that wasn't around.
Yeah, now there's one almost every weekend.
And there was we were all just separated, like looking at Fangoria. And that was, what was the community? It really was hard. If as a horror person, as a child, especially as a female, I was not a normal girl in school.
Well, I was a boy, but hardly anyone I knew in school liked horror movies, especially like weird stuff. I like
really?
And stuff. Yeah.
Honestly, I think like everybody I knew loved horror movies.
That's cool. Neal came from a really small. How many kids were in your graduating class? 50?
In mine?
A couple.
No, in Neal's.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it was probably a couple hundred.
Was it a regional school or
Sandwich?
Sandwich.
I had one good friend who was also into horror, but my parents were actually really supportive. They didn't quite get it, but they were like, "Oh, Lexi wants to watch scary movies, and we'll decorate for Halloween." And they
Cool.
went along for the ride. They
Nice.
still do.
That's great.
My parents were divorced, and so my mom always tells this story where she went down to the corner store where we would rent movies, and she asked this guy. She was like, "Is it okay that my son's watching all these movies where people die and stuff?" And the guy was like, "Oh, everybody's doing it." And I love the fact that I grew up in the 80s with all that. It was amazing. Like, it was an amazing time. Like, Michael and Jason, Freddy, they were all coming up. Like, I think about this all the time, but like Dracula in the 80s, I think was only like 100 years old.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's really weird.
If nobody would have taken the book and made the movies, and we talk about this all the time, and we get into a lot of arguments like, should Jason go to space and should all this stuff. But if those don't happen, the characters don't stay alive for the next generation.
Yeah.
Yes, like when you ask me, I'm like, Jason jumping bodies, what in the hell are we doing? Jason going to space, what the hell are we doing? But it kept it alive for the reimagining, and that was just such an amazing movie. So it's kind of weird, but you have to almost bastardize the characters for the original fans if you're trying to keep them alive for hundreds of years.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think you're right. If they didn't have that continuing touch with modern world, it would disappear like so many other slashers that were good. Just went away.
Honestly, good example, Star Wars. Star Wars took 20-something years. If they would never come back with the prequels, nobody would know about, like, I'm sorry, nobody would know about Star Wars.
Us, we would know. Same thing with Star Trek. Lexi was talking about her sig other loving Star Trek, and that's stuck around because they keep bringing it back and making it relevant to today.
Yeah, there's something about the heart of the story. There must be that's like timelessly relevant, like with that and with Star Wars and with certain horror things as well.
Yeah, because I like to watch old Siskel and Eberts, and when I watch old ones, there'll be movies that I had forgotten about or don't even remember at all. I'll be like, I don't remember this. And some of them would be up for best for Oscars and stuff, but no one talks about them at all today, 30, 40 years later. But, these weirdo horror movies, they keep finding a new audience.
I remember
I had smaller budget movies.
When I first moved to LA, I had this book called Horror Hounds, like Top 100 or whatever. And so I would read and I try to watch all those movies. And I had a buddy that was like, man, there's this movie. And at the beginning, I don't want to say because it's a bad thing to happen, but this thing happened. And then this happened and this happened. And so he took my book and he read through and he got to H. Like, he was reading for like 3 weeks. He got to H. Wow. He was like, holy shit, it was humongous.
Oh my God.
He was like, now I gotta go find it. He wound up finding it in this obscure store down in East LA, I think it was. And he watched it and he was like, oh my gosh, I feel like my life is complete now. He said it took me years, but like, the same way, like if you heard a song on the radio, and then you just happen to not hear it for 30 years, you'd have to find it, and then you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, now you can literally look up any song that's ever existed and look and listen to it within a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
These kids, they don't know how hard we had it.
Yeah,
I
was born kind of just at the tail end of that. I was born in 93, so I just was at the tail end of like Blockbuster and things like that, but I remember them fondly.
Yes. You were like right when the internet wasn't really.
Yes.
Cell phones were still people with money had cell phones. Or pagers.
Yep.
So there was, I think AOL was still around then with their like crap.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that was fun.
So Dean, I want to answer that question. Are there romantic horror movies? Maybe Anna and the Apocalypse, but actually this is going to sound funny, but Tucker and Dale. it's a comedy, but like there's actually like a genuine romantic element to it.
He's really cute. He's trying to go after his girl.
Yeah, and there's Bram Stoker's Dracula.
What is it? I've traveled across oceans of time to find you. That great line.
Yeah,
it's a wonderful
it's
movie.
amazing.
And I guess probably vampire movies. Like I thought of The Hunger, kind of, right? It is, and then Only Lovers Left Alive.
Not exactly romantic, but more sexy. I love the Christopher Lee ones, the Christopher Lee Dracula films.
Oh, yes.
Big fan of those.
Less romance, more
sensual.
Yes.
Yes.
I actually thought of doing like a trilogy that would be, how was it going to go? It was going to go like, so it was going to be like 3 genres, but it would be, I think the middle one was going to be a horror movie where they like kind of, the first one was going to be a horror movie. So the 2 characters survive, and then they kind of go through like drama where they were like coping with being in the horror movie and all that. But then the third one was going to be like a romantic comedy where now they've gotten past all that and they fall in love.
Cool.
Oh,
I think it'd be a very interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I've joked a similar idea to make a prequel to a horror movie, but it's before anything happens. So then it's just like a rom-com.
Yeah.
But it would have to be an existing movie, and it would kind of like, I think it would kind of piss people off that all of a sudden the prequel to it has nothing to do with besides the characters there. Or if you would like make a sequel to an existing comedy, and then it's suddenly a slasher, and all the characters are getting murdered.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun for a sitcom. Like since they bring back sitcoms today, if you could reboot some sitcom from the 90s or so, but now it's set in a slasher world and all the characters are just getting murdered.
What was that? Boy Meets World, the one with the episode with Jennifer Love Hewitt, the Halloween episode. That was pretty cool. Like that's obviously a comedy.
I remember Roseanne always had the big Halloween episodes, the original Roseanne show.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think I've seen the show though.
I didn't watch Boy Meets World, but what I used to do is for my 31 days of Halloween, I feel like sometimes movies are too hard to watch and it's hard to keep up with. So what I would do
watch a 90-minute 2-hour movie every day.
Yeah, I would watch TV episodes every night. And so I watched that one and I was like, oh, this is really cool.
That's a great idea to make it not as overwhelming to be watching. I see people doing it. I'm like, I don't know what you all are up to in your days, but I love movies. That's a big project to tackle.
Let's be honest, like we all love horror. Like we go to a movie in the theaters or go hang out with our friends at a haunted bar. Or it actually can become tedious, right? Try to keep up with that, and then we get mad. We're like, oh hell, I got to like 17 this year, but I didn't make it all the way through.
Yeah, well, even this year I was trying to upload an interview that hadn't been uploaded every day, and then after a while I was like, I can't do this every day. It's too much to keep up with on Without Your Head. So.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll try to do October. What is it called? Inktober or Drawtober?
I just learned about that.
It is. I started doing it this year. I've done it all the way through in the past. Sometimes I end up doing it late. But it's hard to keep up. Like a drawing every day, that can be hard.
It is.
Yeah, I don't know if all the other people know about that, but there's like a prompt every day of October. And it'll just be like, what's one that's come across your screen, Lexi, recently?
Like for example, mushroom, and then you have to draw something involving a mushroom. Some of them there's like the official master list put out by the Inktober. I think they have like a Twitter account. And then there are people who will just come up with their own lists, and usually I'll pull from one of those.
And then you just bring it in.
An interactive app would be like, how they do watch parties. If we did just boom, this is 31 nights of Halloween. You don't have to pull it yourself or anything. Just show up to Without Your Head every night.
That would be a fun night. We used to do the 13 dark days of Christmas, and we would show a Christmas movie the 13 days up till Christmas.
It was great.
Oh my God. Have you guys seen Tree Venge?
Yes,
love Tree
I
Revenge.
love that
Yes.
movie so much. So much. That was one of the ones that I pulled for probably the first year we did that.
Yeah.
It's so great.
That's
Tree
awesome.
Revenge,
awesome.
everybody. It is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yes, Revenge. It is worth it. And no spoilers, but children may die.
It's like in Terrifier 3, which Christopher Outridge, I've never seen more people walk out of a film than when I saw Jason X. The theater was full when it started. Halfway through, nearly half was gone. When the credits rolled, only 10 were left.
Wow.
So as we were talking, I wanted to say something to Christopher because part 8 was really weird. My cousin came in. It was the first Friday the 13th he had seen, so he didn't know any better. And I was like, "What the hell? Jason's leaving. What is this toxic fucking New York sewer juice that's making him
it just
turn
turns into a baby." Yeah.
Okay, so then after part 8, we watched. Me and my cousin watched the rest of them. He's like, "Oh my gosh, what the hell is part 8?" So we went into part 9 in the theater, and I like, you're not going to believe it, but we literally had the talk of like, part 8 was so terrible. If he's just back in Crystal Lake, and I swear to God, we literally said, as long as he doesn't fight the U.S. Army. And 5 minutes in, the U.S. Army's dropping a bomb on Jason. It's like, what in the serious hell is going on?
So I have a very.
This is what I'm talking about. So I never watched another one except Freddy versus Jason.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where the new blood comes in and watches, like we were talking about, the stuff that the original people were like, what the hell is going on? But that's what keeps it going.
What do you think about the reboots? Reimaginings and all of the
I love the reboot. I loved the reboot of Elm Street. I know people hate it. Mm-hmm. I loved A New Nightmare, and I loved the reboot.
I love A New Nightmare, actually.
I loved the reboot. I know they made it much darker. I know it wasn't Robert Englund. I know it wasn't the greatest makeup. I loved the reboot. I thought it was much darker. Much darker. I loved it.
I actually really liked that one too. I mean, it was hard. I mean, no one is ever going to fill Robert Englund's shoes, but I thought if you looked at it kind of as a standalone thing, I liked it. I liked how it kind of introduced the angle of like, what if Freddy was actually innocent? We're actually innocent. And I thought
I thought it was going that way, which I thought would have been I wished it would have went completely that way. I think that would have been an interesting take. It also, to me, would justify why he comes back at all. You know, then he's getting revenge for wrongfully being murdered.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for the panel, what do you guys think about the theory that in the original Friday the 13th, Jason didn't actually drown and he didn't die until part 4?
I agree 100%. I've always stood by this. I think it's actually really obvious. He's clearly a living being from 2 to 4. I don't think they foresaw ever doing a sequel in 1. But it was always shown the end of 1 is a dream. It's not like he's really jumping out of the lake or anything. So yeah, I agree 100% that from 2 to 4, he's clearly living. But if he had died as a kid, why is he a grown man as a zombie? That
always made me wonder as well. That's an interesting point.
And they show that he eats in some of those. You know, he's catching animals. He gets hurt.
Did they ever do the show they were supposed to do where it was like the kind of prequel, how his mom kind of became crazy?
No, they always talk about it, but I don't. It seems like it's always about ready to start, but I don't think it's ever happened.
I would be
interested though.
I'd enjoy watching it.
Yeah.
Did
you ever watch the really long? They have a few of them, but they have one all about the Jason movies and one all about the Freddy movies. They're super long documentaries. Never Sleep Again is the Friday the 13th Nightmare on Elm Street one. And the original script for Jason versus Freddy was Freddy molests Jason as a living boy and drowns him. And then like, and there's like it was really interesting, but at the same time, they were like, we can't really make this because there's like fans of both these characters, and you're going to have a good time. And then you'd be like, what the hell am I watching?
Yeah. You gotta prep an audience for that experience.
Yeah.
This is what you're in for.
I think it's a good idea. I just think it would probably be better as like a graphic novel where people could read it and not, go.
It's a great idea. Okay.
I think it is too. I think it's hard to pull off.
Here's my thought. Because I feel like I'm just like, guys, what the can I cuss on here?
Yeah.
Yes, swear it up.
I was like, what the fuck, guys? It's so fucking easy. Okay. Here's how you do that movie. My God. The kids from Elm Street are being so fucking tormented, but instead of sending them to the mental fucking institution, you send them to the fucking camp at Crystal Lake.
There you go. Yeah.
It's so I thought of that in
very interesting
back in the day when I first heard that they were going to do that movie. I was like, oh fuck yeah, this is going to be great. Guys, don't make it so fucking complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Lexi has a shining rug.
Yes, I do.
Oh, yes.
I do.
When you first said that, I thought I don't see it shining, but then I was like, oh yeah, the shining. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, from the hotel overlook. Yeah, this has come with me through three houses now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad you still have it. That's really
me too. It's kind of the centerpiece of the office. We decorated the whole color scheme around it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So he was not into horror before? What was his name? I feel bad just calling him.
His name is Matt.
Okay. Matt.
Yeah, so he's a very much a sci-fi person. Was not so much horror.
Revenge.
Dave knows.
Well, I'm a Star Trek guy too, so I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good that you can support each other's.
Yeah.
Sci-fi, horror have joined together.
Yes, an unholy alliance.
I mean, look, I feel like when you're going through Blockbuster in the 80s, if you're lucky, you're leaving with 5 movies, and it's from the different genres. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a little older than I am, so he grew up in that era of like the golden age of sci-fi and horror in the 80s. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Dave, do you have are you pro or anti candy corn?
Dave already said anti candy corn.
Okay.
Not Dave. Dave
Dave.
Not me. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the whole thing is you have to look at it like this. There is Halloween candy, and then there's just candy that the dentists push all year long so that they can fix the cavity. Okay. Candy corn is the #1 Halloween treat. Absolutely. We don't want these crazy peanut. We don't want raisins. As much as it's nice, we don't want like 5 pennies. Give us candy corn.
I know Sophia out there, Sophia Cassiola. Sophia gets a specific brand of candy corn because it's vegan. It's made with I forget what cane sugar. I don't know what it's made with exactly, but it's a vegan candy corn. It was really good too. I had it when I was.
What is not vegan about regular candy corn? Isn't it just
there's something in it that there's something in it that
it's not free range corn that they use.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was actually made by Jelly Belly, the kind that
I love Jelly Belly.
Yeah.
Ooh. They're branching out.
Yeah. they're trying to take over the candy.
It's like Ricola.
Yeah. Ricola. Pepe Petit loves candy corn. Candy corn is catching up. It's 3-4. I didn't include Annabelle and I. I'm pro candy corn.
Oh, there you go.
I'm not like I love candy corn and I need it. Well, do you guys remember a few years ago there was this thing about people putting candy corn on pizza?
No.
Yeah,
It was
please don't do that.
insane. It was
Don't
like
put
on the
pineapple.
news.
No, like,
Like
keep that
Troy
stuff off.
in America did it.
That is
And so I'm
gross.
seeing it and I thought, you know what? It was like a year later or whatever when I thought, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna fuck it. I just want to know. I'm not gonna like it, but I
No,
just
you
want
didn't
to
do it.
know. I want need to know.
No, I
Annabelle was
I-
like, I know this person.
So I have 2 frozen pizzas that I like anyways. And I thought, you know, I'll have 2 so then I can put both in the oven, one candy corn, one without. So if I really probably will hate the candy corn one, at least I've got the other one. Put them in, there they go. It smells. Open it up, and there's just this like this slick of orange, yellow, and white, just a slick across the top of it. And it was one of the most horrifying, disgusting things I've ever. And I'm trying to eat other stuff and brush my teeth. Nothing. Would not touch it.
You're
So
talking about the regular pizza, right?
We're talking about a regular pizza with candy corn on it. So I couldn't get it out, and I didn't even bother to go for the other pizza because it was so bad. I had to make it leave. So brushing teeth, and I just had to deal with it.
I saw a new thing people were sharing. Actually, it's a peppermint pepperoni pizza, and you crumble like candy canes over the pepperoni.
We'll get there in a minute. So I had tried to brush my teeth and everything. So nasty. I'm like, thank God I've got this other pizza that I know I love. And you know what? It tastes like fucking candy corn because whatever was going on in the oven cooked into that damn pizza. It was a sad night.
It's the candy corn ghost in the pizza.
Oh my God.
It'll haunt everything now in the oven. So it's there. People are informing us it's the gelatin in the candy corn. It's a byproduct of animal rendering made from boiling connective tissue and various leftovers.
That sounds gross.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess that's why
I know we all eat
gummy candy so much.
But so what is this mint pizza?
Yeah, it's a peppermint pepperoni pizza. So you make a basic pizza with pepperoni, and then you crumble like candy cane over the pepperoni.
Yeah, when
they
trying this, like they're going through.
I've seen it shared like on Facebook a few times over this week.
They're going from holiday to holiday.
Yeah.
What's the next holiday that comes? Easter. So what'll they have? Those like little, like one with actual candies.
No, because Thanksgiving you can do like a turkey and cranberry sauce and stuffing pizza.
No, it's got to be candy. Well, actually, I tried that pizza.
That actually sounds like it can be good if it's done the right way.
Yeah, I think it's. I'm talking myself into it. I think it's.
Right. I'm getting a little hungry thinking about this pizza. It just can't have a red sauce.
That
kind of white pizza.
Gravy.
Maybe just a cranberry sauce.
Gravy and cranberry. Yeah. All right. The 3 of us are gonna make this pizza happen. I see someone in the room is not.
You're gonna put like what is that, pineapple stuff on it too? Like
I am a big fan of pineapple.
I don't mind pineapple on pizza.
My brother's always been anti pineapple pizza, burgers, all stuff. And then he recently had a burger with grilled pineapple on it, and he's like, "Don't tell anybody," but I'm telling everybody now. He really liked it.
I found out recently that the reason that it sometimes tingles when you eat pineapples is that they have an enzyme in them that is like is acidic and it like digests things. So like it's kind of eating you as you're eating it.
That's why if you can use fresh pineapple as a tenderizer for meat, but you can't leave it on too long. It will, like if you put it too long on a steak, it will literally eat the steak away.
Wow.
Also, that's why you're supposed to put canned pineapple on a ham, because if you use fresh pineapple, it will like eat its way through.
Wow.
All right. Yeah. That could be the next horror movie. The pineapple that ate things.
Like, it's like it's kind of like the stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
Can torture people with pineapple. They'll like kidnap them and put them in the basement and like tie them out and then Just put
Just throw them
fresh
in a tub of
pineapple on them,
pineapple.
and then they get tenderized, and then they cook them. Yes.
What is
There
it
we
like?
go.
I think celery. You actually burn more calories than you take in. So it's like you
Yeah.
just feed somebody celery until they die.
Wow, you get celery to death.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
There's a great song sung by way back when, sung by Doris Day called "The Celery Stalks at Midnight." If anyone has ever heard that one, it's a cute little old song.
Isn't that the name of a buniculum?
It is, and I think they named it after the song because the song is much
Yes.
older. But
Damn, I
it's
remember
just
that
kind of this silly little song about someone who's being stalked by a monster celery.
That's awesome.
Love it.
Yeah.
A
That's
monster.
fun.
Is the monster celery a giant celery, or is it just especially violent?
It's not specified, so I kind of like the idea of the latter.
The malted Easter egg candy is good. I thought he wanted on a
That
pizza.
can go on the
actually.
pizza.
All right.
So I'm talking about the holidays. Like if it was, I thought, if it's
I was thinking like Cadbury.
going to be
egg pizza,
Valentine's
maybe.
Day, it could be like those different chocolates with the different flavors in it. You just place them, you like chop those and place them across the whole pizza.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm not
feel
saying I
like
would love it. I'm saying here's
Pizza
where a trend is at.
was like perfected in the early like 1400s, and like it was perfect, and now we're just like, oh, let's
What do you put on
Americanize
your
pizza.
What do you put on your pizza? Is it something like out of the 1400s?
Yeah, meat. Yeah,
Yes.
meat. Like pepperoni, sausage, like green peppers. Like I can actually I can.
Blasphemy to the
And some
1400s.
Cadbury eggs.
No, not chocolate. I don't put chocolate on pizza. People are crazy.
I haven't had chocolate on pizza, but I would try it unless it's gonna
I would try just
poison
about
me.
anything. So.
Yeah, if it's gonna poison me,
I'm
or
not saying I'll like it, but I try
truly-
it. Yeah.
Truly like a
Oh,
body
okay. So
part.
here's an interesting thing. So back in '87 in Cincinnati, on pizza there was a place called Snappy's, and they put cicadas on their pizza. Would you eat that?
I would
That's what
try
I'm saying. If it's a body, a meat, no. I get freaked out even eating, like we live, Neal and I live like 2 hours apart, but we're both on the seacoast, and so seafood is huge.
Mhm.
So people eat clams and lobsters and shrimp and all this stuff. And I will, if I think about it, I get real freaked out about eating shrimp.
Really?
I don't eat that much lobster. Yeah, because it's a bug. It's an ocean
I love
bug.
shrimp. But
It's a
got
bug that
shell.
tastes so good.
I've eaten crickets.
have
It
too.
doesn't bother me, but there's not. It's almost eating like the husk off like a popcorn. They don't
Yeah.
really taste like
Oh.
anything.
But that's the thing, is that if you could peel it, then would it be, because like shrimp does taste good.
They
lobster
actually
does
make, because
taste
I
good.
do a high protein diet. They make protein powder out of crickets. Supposedly, it's really high in protein, and
Yeah.
it's like a sustainable protein to just smash them all up and make
Oh my
protein
God.
powder out of them. I've not
Yeah.
tried it, but I would try it.
I heard there's like a movement to make bread out of cockroaches, because the same reason they're high in protein or something.
Yeah.
Hmm.
One of the only things I
Cockroaches eat all kinds of nastiness. Grasshoppers are out there just in nature eating
Yeah.
good, wholesome things. Cockroaches are eating.
a lot of the seafood
Bad
too.
things.
That if it's a bottom dweller like a
Yeah.
catfish and lobster, they're eating a lot of nasty stuff.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
I'll eat just about anything I don't like entered meats. And one of the things I didn't was Annabelle and I went to Bazaar Bites, and I had Rocky Mountain oysters, and
Oh.
that was not a pleasant.
Yeah, there was quite a show leading up to that where I found pictures of the pre-made ball, and then when they're cut. Oh my God, it was so. I'll find some pictures now, and you can put them up.
Yeah, no,
It's so gross. Need to share it. You guys keep talking. I'm gonna find this.
sea bugs. Yeah, Dave is anti sea bugs. I'm pro sea bug. I'll say they're good.
Yeah, I gotta say I'm pro sea bug as well. The first time I ate shrimp, I was on vacation with my mother, and she was trying to figure out where the nearest emergency room was because I had never had shellfish before, and she was like, "Oh my God, what if she's allergic?"
Right.
Unfortunately, I was not.
Yeah, preemptive, just in case.
I'm like, this is delicious. I ate like 5. She's like quietly panicking.
Well, I'm glad you're okay with them. Then.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw my expressions on my face.
Yes. I know that you have a loved one who, yeah.
No, I'm looking at I did my image search.
Oh, that. Oh.
I'm just.
Those are pretty good expressions, by the way.
Yeah,
like,
they are pretty great
expressions.
It was natural. I didn't. that wasn't a fake. It was very real.
So, Lexi's going to dress up as a ghost. Do you have any plans to dress up as anything, David, for Halloween?
That's a good question. Not yet. I'm going to Hollywood Hotness. It's a fundraiser for St. Jude's on Saturday, and
that's great.
Probably just dress up as. I might go as the Terminator again. One year I went leather jacket that I cut up a little bit and then didn't have a shirt on, so I might do that. But yeah, no, this year I kind of like got lost in the mix because I'm working on Day of the Cicada premiere. So
I
keep looking up and oh my gosh, it's like half of the month is already gone.
Yeah,
it's crazy how
half
fast
the month.
It's going. Yeah.
When is the? Do you know when the premiere is?
Yeah, it's November 16th. I was actually going to see if you guys wanted to come out.
It's the day before my birthday. If I could, I would. But I just blew all my days off, which I hate. But it's really limited. We would have gone to Brooklyn, and man. So I don't know if Neal can do it.
Yeah, I would love to if I can. We'll have to figure this out. I'll have to figure it out. But if I'm able to, I would love to.
It is the day before my birthday.
Yeah. Talk to your family. They'll fly you out. Talk to your work. Just be like, oh yeah, I gotta go eat some bugs.
Shit. Yeah, I'll let them know. Like, hey, I'm gonna go to this. Just let it slide.
Tell them it's a conference. Tell them it's like you're getting like I don't know if your particular branch is like continuing education units, but tell them that's what it is.
That's exactly what I'll do. That's very clever, and I was looking at some of those recently about like.
I will write you a note.
I got a note from Dave Bailey.
Hey, look, I'm a writer. I can make it sound really good. Like if they check my references, we're screwed. But.
They check his IMDb.
Wait a minute. This guy worked on these movies. What the?
It's more than they've done.
Yeah.
All right.
Neal, what's wrong with these photos? You don't want to share?
Well, no, they weren't saving in the correct format, so I had to save them in the correct format. All right. So these are raw Rocky Mountain oysters.
Oh goodness!
Oh my goodness! That looks like War of the Worlds.
Oh my!
Yeah, that's got their little. Oh my god! Neal ate it, and I showed that during look at this during the show. Look at it. And I said, "There's no way I'm eating it. I am not eating that." Neal, how was it, Neal?
It wasn't good. It reminded me. It was like the taste wise wasn't so bad, honestly, but the texture felt like damp sawdust in my mouth. It was not,
goodness,
not pleasant. It was not pleasant.
It's a ringing in dorsal.
Yeah. Which is probably good though, because if I loved them, it'd be like I'd be always. Do you guys happen to have Rocky Mountain oysters on the menu? And no place ever does.
You get them imported. Go in your local butcher. Hey.
But yeah, they were not. I would not recommend them.
No.
We had somebody that was cool. That was Bizarre Bites in Atlantic City. So it was a horror convention, Bizarre AC, and they had one of the events was Bizarre Bites, and it was like some famous chef, and he made all these dishes out of weird stuff like kidneys and Rocky Mountain oysters, and they had some stuff with bugs and hearts, tongue.
All kinds of crazy.
when I bought my DVD copy of Silence of the Lambs, it came with recipe cards.
Oh,
Amazing.
cool.
Lamb-based dishes.
Oh my lord, really?
Yeah, I have to figure out where those went because those were pretty great.
That's incredible. That's from the actual Silence of the Lambs?
Yep. It came
That's
in with the
wild. I've never
DVD. It was
seen
like a
that.
bonus feature.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yep.
Did tell you how to have an old friend for dinner?
Yeah, yep. That was the idea. My cat is named
Probably.
Clarice, by the way.
Oh, I love it.
Yep. She made an appearance earlier. She was trying to get into
Oh, I
the
saw.
closet. Yeah.
Money saving with Mimi. I'm going to be Billy from Gremlins.
Nice.
Oh.
That's
Cool.
cool. They got
We
their
have like
wig
a
from
gremlin
TV.
prop.
Yeah, I don't know.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Mimi, Dave, everyone out there, whenever you get your costume on, send a picture over to Without Your Head. We have our annual Halloween contest, so it's fun.
What is
I have a
going
question.
on there?
Gremlins, Christmas movie, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Do
Just like
people
Die
deny
Hard.
it? What were you saying, Lexi?
I said just like Die Hard. It's a Christmas movie.
It totally is. I saw Die Hard Christmas Eve when I was in LA after we did End Zone 2, and they showed it at New Beverly Cinema, and and I was watching. I was like, this really is a Christmas movie.
Mhm.
The whole score is Christmas songs.
Mhm.
It really is a straight up Christmas movie.
Absolutely.
But definitely Gremlins. Do people actually
Gremlins.
say, like, do horror people say it's not?
Well,
Or-
no, but I remember I was walking. It wasn't Dark Dells, but it was Halloween Town here in Burbank, and I was just kind of walking through, and I remember there's two girls. They were younger, and they were talking about having watched Gremlins, and they were like, "Oh my god, it's such a long movie. Oh, it's so boring."
Oh,
And I'm like,
That's sad.
it's interesting that I think it's the advent of the internet, but also MTV cutting and just faster pace and being able to get on your phone and like scroll. But people don't have the attention span that they used to. Like even the game of baseball, which I never watched, but they changed the rules to make it faster. Now baseball games are actually faster than football games. And in the old days, you didn't have the internet. You didn't have stuff wasn't as fast paced. Cars didn't go as fast. So you could go into a theater and you could watch a movie 3.5 hours, 4 hours, and it didn't seem like it was wasting your whole day, if that makes sense.
Yes. There's a lot of pressure to be doing things. Well, we were just talking about, doing this many movies in a month and this many things, but there are so many other demands on us now to keep up with everything. So yeah, something that could just be a leisurely enjoyable thing then becomes that chore.
It's crazy as a filmmaker when you've made a movie, and Neal, you know this, like all of a sudden you have to go promote.
Right.
And
that's the biggest part of it. Huh?
So many people ask me, "Have you seen this? Have you seen this? Have you seen this?" And I'm like constantly saying no to the movies that are out right now. Like there's like 5 movies that I'm supposed to go see, and I'm from the perspective of being an editor. I don't have it because I'm spending all my movie watching time, like watching scenes 25, 30 times to make sure that scene is best before I move on. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, I definitely won't keep up. I don't see people say this stuff. The only time I keep up is if Neal and I actually go out when we meet up, go to see some. And we saw 3 movies the other day, which is great, but I just can't.
Yeah, and I normally go every weekend to the movie, so I keep up with stuff. But the last couple of months, I didn't go anywhere. I was focusing on Arbor Day stuff, and then so I didn't see a ton of stuff that came out, and there were a few horror movies that I haven't seen that people kept talking. I was glad Substance was still playing because that was one that people really loved.
I have to see Substance, but
yeah, I would definitely recommend it.
Case in point, like you're just talking, like you have all these movies you want to see, but you were working on Arbor Day. That's just
yeah, because it does take, like you said, it's not just 90 minutes and you see the movie. You have to For me, it's too. I travel up there, and then it's basically you're taking the whole day to go see it.
Yeah. I mean, Annabelle, like 3 movies. Like, how long did that take?
I mean, it is your day.
Yeah, it was a whole day event. Yeah.
Drive. Neal comes from the south. I come from the north. We each go an hour, a little more than an hour for me. Probably sometimes more than an hour for Neal. Get there. Public transportation, all the things. Get to the theater. Have we eaten? Have we not eaten? Try to bounce that. And it's just, all right, how much time do we have between each thing to try to do the show, to try to eat?
Yeah, I got up at 7:30 in the morning and got home at like 2 and it got home at 2 a.m. So it was the whole day. It was really fun.
From our perspective, it looks like you guys are like 5 minutes away from each other and always watching. Like, boom. Like, that's how it feels.
Yeah.
Far.
Yeah, we used to just watch stuff on the internet together, which we haven't done for a long time, actually. It's probably even easier to do now. We could probably do it through StreamYard, actually.
That's true. That's a good idea.
We could probably do that for screeners and stuff.
We
should probably do that to do a dinner and a movie segment on the show once in a while.
Anyway. And we have to make sure we do not lose sight of Arbor Day.
Oh no, we won't. Okay. It's, Troy started on the guts yesterday.
Cool, good. All right. Yeah.
Some
I don't know if this has happened with you, David, but would you rather be called David or Dave?
Whatever you feel comfortable with.
Whatever you feel.
Probably Dave, just because when people call me David, it's like, wait, my mom's talking to me, I'm in trouble.
All right. I've asked some people that are, in our age range, like, would you rather Mike? Would you rather be called Mike or Michael? And I was really surprised by one person who said Michael, which is fine. But I was like, oh.
Well, that is
really, that's fine. Robert, you can be Robert. So I want to be respectful of if Dave would like to be Dave. So it's Dave.
I appreciate that. What was your question? No, you had a question though.
What was it? What were we saying?
It wasn't just about his name, I don't think.
No, I was trying to.
We had been talking about Arbor Day a little.
Arbor. Oh yeah. So the idea of getting committed into what you're doing and having to mind's full of ideas and wanting to go places with them, but it's like, no, I got to bring it back. I got to focus on this thing. I've got to do this.
Are you talking in terms of because of budget constraints?
No, like filmmaking and thinking about, are you thinking about any other projects as you're going, or other things you would be interested in working on, and trying to just restrain it because you have to really be focused on this.
So not to think of other projects instead of just,
It's really funny because okay, so let me look here. So the second, third, fourth, so the last week, first 2 weeks of October, I worked on 5 days. I worked on a movie, what was it? Texas Nightmare. And they brought me in because I worked on Clutch in June. I worked one scene. They brought me in. I was there 5 days for Texas Nightmare. Had so many more lines than I've ever had. So Sadie and I had a scene where it was 2 pages. She had maybe 4 lines. All the rest of the dialogue was mine. And I was like, holy hell. And I was learning this dialogue. And I was like, okay, I have Tuesday and Friday and Monday and Thursday off. What am I going to do? And I was like, okay, I have to do. And basically the whole time, actually the first 2 nights I was on set for them, Joe Castro was like, hey, we've got to finish off the visual effects tomorrow for Day of the Cicada. And we had, I think, 30 shots left. So we're up in Malibu, and I'm texting Joe in between takes, watching the footage, everything. And so the first night I was up on Texas Nightmare, I think about 9 o'clock, they were like, hey, we had to change a couple things because of the city ordinance. You're good to go. You're not shooting tonight. And I jetted out of there, and I was like, I didn't even go home. I jetted down to a Starbucks, and I was just looking at the shots Joe was sending me. So Okay, so that's 2 movies I was working on. On the weekends, my roommate and I were pitching another movie we're trying to do that he had a script to. We're trying to shoot and raise the money in Italy to go shoot at a castle there. So there's 3 in 2 weeks. Meanwhile, while I'm doing this, I was prepping all the footage for Clown Motel 3 to edit. Okay, so now there's 4 movies in 2 weeks. And I think there's one more. Actually, there's another one, a script I'm trying to get to Sadie that she read like a couple years ago. So it's like 5.
And you have to keep it balanced because you can't let anything go.
I don't even think okay, so Day of the Cicada. So at the Day of the Cicada premiere, a lot of people make the mistake of getting to their premiere, setting up a party, enjoying the day, but not thinking about it's a chess game. The day of that premiere for my movie, I'm not thinking about getting drunk or partying. I am thinking about, okay, who can we get here that might want to invest in the next movie? Now, that's from actor point of view, investor point of view. You know, you can't always use the same camera person or sound person. They might be busy. So it's like building your empire, so to speak. And it really is not about the party. It's about building a career, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
having the strategy. Yeah.
So it's like what, 6 or 7 movies like all at once. It's like insane. There's always you're never going to just be thinking about one movie. If you're really into it, you're never just going to be thinking about one movie.
But you can't just let something go. So any of these projects, you don't just start a new one and forget one.
Oh,
you
no.
gotta keep it rolling.
About Arbor Day.
Especially when it's
but you're also still pushing End Zone 2, right? Like, so even you guys are never on just one.
Yeah, and my movie I produced, Solvents, playing Nightmares this weekend.
See, there you go. Never just one.
But you can't let any of them slide away.
We have Chris Outridge has also joined us.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. I heard what Annabelle was saying about I'm holding my phone, by the way. I'm holding my phone right now talking to you guys. I heard what Annabelle was saying about working multiple projects at the same time, and I think all of us as independent filmmakers, we can all relate to that. I think we all have different ideas that are going on inside of our heads and different projects that we're in multiple stages of pre, post, and even just thinking about and bringing them together. And that's why I wanted to jump on and just join in and talk about that, because it's really cool and it's very important as well with all of us. I'm actually right now, I mentioned this earlier before, but I'm right now building props for my where I'm doing a proof of concept shoot for Teddy Cuddles on Monday, and I'm currently building props for that proof of concept shoot right now. If anybody, I'm sure you're all familiar of the movie Toy Story. Which never thought I'd say that on a horror podcast. But if you take the scene where Sid is being attacked by his toys, and just imagine that scene resulting in Sid's murder.
Okay.
That's kind of what I'm going for with all these messed up dolls.
Oh, sweet.
That I'm making. Like, I'm sitting here right now doing this. And as an independent filmmaker, building all of your props and just having that creativity to just sit there and take the time and dedication to create all of these things, like it's just magical.
Yeah, you just have to keep it going. And I think that's the same thing probably that I'm trying to get at is like there's no time to spare. Like David, you were talking earlier about like wanting to see all these movies, which that would be nice, but when you're pursuing something, you like it can be really hard for me to be like, all right, I gotta do Arbor Day. And so, but really saying to myself, like, I have to do Arbor Day. So I wasn't even doing the show for a bit because I was so worried about I don't want to fall behind on Arbor Day, trying to write up the Kickstarter stuff and come up with all these different things. And Neal and his brother and I would do meetings sometimes, and I just was so terrified that if I get comfortable at all,
yeah,
I'm gonna collapse.
I know exactly the way what you're thinking right now, because part of the reason why I'm sitting down setting up all of these props right now and making sure it's all ready is because I really want to go out this weekend in order to go to the film festivals. And I definitely want to see Terrifier 3, and I want to see Smile 2, So I'm trying to get all this stuff done tonight so that I can then go out over the weekend and see those horror movies. And I mentioned I want to go to the Brooklyn Horror Film Festival too
we were hoping we would have more in the hat. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I definitely want to go to that on Saturday. I want to go to that on Saturday. So that's why I'm sitting here doing all of this.
It's one of our favorite festivals. I don't know if you've been there before. It's a really great festival, and the theater itself is just a really nice theater. It's independent, weird kind of. It's cool. It's always all the screenings are usually packed, so it's just a really good time. Then everyone meets afterwards and talks over the movie out in the bar area.
I've actually been to Nighthawk.
Okay, it's a great theater.
I've been to Nighthawk Cinema. I've never been to the Brooklyn Horror Film Festival, but I've actually, which sucks because I live in Brooklyn. But I went to the Nighthawk Cinema to see the midnight showing of Human Centipede 2.
Oh my God! Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Original?
Annabelle
the original one.
Oh my God.
The original uncut. Not the original uncut, featuring 2 scenes that they did not include in the DVD release.
Really?
That at least I think you could only see those movies those 2 scenes if you actually saw it in theaters. Because I haven't seen it on at least the DVD that I bought didn't have it. But yeah, that I've been to I saw Human Centipede 2 midnight showing at that theater.
How was the audience?
That was such a good job. Like, whether you like the gross part of it or not, the dude that played that guy was so
Lawrence Harvey,
freaking amazing.
Oh yeah, I actually had
he didn't say one word, right? He didn't say one word.
We were just sent. Let me grab his name because Lawrence Harvey's in a new movie. And the director sent us the screener earlier today. Nice. He loved to come on, and Rusty Apper.
I actually had a conversation with a filmmaker. I was on a panel with a couple of filmmakers a few weeks ago, where one of the filmmakers, he was, he normally when you think of Human Centipede, you're like, oh, this movie, it's not for me, it's terribly, it's disturbing, blah blah blah. But when I talked about it, and the thing I like about Human Centipede is that there's a real story and emotion behind that movie.
The first one's really not even graphic.
Yes, exactly.
The first in your head. The whole setup is like, it's in your mind. The whole setup's like a classic mad scientist movie with like the girls
and
lost out in the rain, and they stumble upon instead of a castle, it's a house.
Yeah, and it's biologically accurate too. Like, they hired scientists to actually go over that whole procedure to make sure that it was scientifically accurate, and it is. And then the second one is more of a stylized experimental film, but there's some real emotion behind those movies. And when I talked about that on the podcast a few weeks ago, it actually inspired one of the independent filmmakers to go back and watch Human Centipede at 1 and 2. And he was like, my God, Chris, you're actually right. Yeah. Like, this is not some brutal, gore, bloody movie. Like, there's that too, but there's also like a real heartbreaking story in the first one. And then the third one is a whole lot more experimental with a really nice twist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then
So-
the third one I think is bad, but I
Oh,
love
the-
the first two movies.
Oh, the third one's ridiculous. Like
Yeah,
that, I don't like the third one. It just should not have been done. I mean, I know they're trying to milk it, but it just should not have been done.
Mhm.
It was a third piece.
Yeah.
Human centipede is-
I know we
is the
Annabelle
one
doesn't
that's
like me to
dying
mention
and sick.
anymore, but Annabelle and I met each other through Human Centipede.
You did.
Oh,
That's
wow.
how I first met you guys too, I think.
That's how I
Yeah.
know you.
Wow, Human Centipede bringing
Bring
people together.
In more ways than one.
Yeah.
I like that in more ways than
Stitching.
one.
I think
Thankfully, yeah.
Stitching them together. No, it's interesting
See, I
though.
realized
Like,
recently that the reason that I was talking with a friend who also likes Human Centipede, and but he's very repulsed and disturbed by it in a way that I'm not. And I realized, you know what? I think it's because I'm not looking at it from the perspective of the victim.
Mm.
I'm looking at it from the perspective of the villain.
Ooh.
So I'm just like, yeah.
Ooh.
oh my goodness.
Not like I'd sew people's together. I
No,
more
because
enjoy thinking about villains in almost all movies.
Mm.
Villains are fun. Doctor
Yeah, 'cause-
villains are amazing.
and the villains are so totally different. Like the first one, the villain is this very intelligent, very like he's not a crazy mad scientist. He's a very intelligent man who just had this really creepy idea and was smart enough to execute it.
Mhm.
You know?
Psychopath. So he
Yeah.
has no, like they talk about like people who make good surgeons. Not every surgeon is, but are people who have psychopathic tendencies because
Mhm.
they don't have the emotions that, like, if any of us, presuming we all have emotional intelligence and capacities, we wouldn't be able to perform surgeries because we'd be afraid. We'd be worried. Think about what's going to happen with that person. What if this happens? And then what happens to their family, and get very caught up in, what are
Yeah.
the consequences of my actions? Whereas people who don't have that can be much more precise surgeons because they're
Right.
not in that. They're focused on the machine of what it is, the human machine,
Mhm.
and taking this human machine and fixing it as if it's a car.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, villains are
So-
fast. Lexi and I are both in the field of mental health.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's really quickly to go back to a previous thing we were talking about. Like,
Oh yes, I remember those pictures.
Oh my god. What the-
Yeah.
That's me and
That's
Annabelle as
were
Dr.
invited.
Hyder and me as Martin.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's
That was
awesome.
And then here's
Oh my-
extra Troy.
Troy
That is
Back.
incredible.
Troy, his brother did the cartoon, and Troy is
Oh my.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
I love
Need to-
this.
I need to bring that shirt back.
That is amazing. I love this.
You remember, Annabelle, that you
the
made
show.
like a car sticker at one point that had like
Yes.
the little Human Centipede family, right? I
Yes,
bet you
and
still have
it
one of
went
those
to the
somewhere.
top. It was like in Rue Morgue. It was like it was huge.
Mm.
It was a big deal. I was so proud of me. And then Tom Six, there's a bajillion things out there of Human Centipede. We know Tom Six, and Six Entertainment said, please do not continue with this sticker.
No, they didn't say it like that, but
What did they
Really?
say?
no,
Really?
they wanted money, and then I was like,
Oh,
"Yeah,
really?
just take it
I
down."
don't
and
remember
yeah.
hearing about that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, what were they going to get? Like $5?
Yeah, it wasn't very much, but I was
Sales
just like,
stickers?
I'll just take it down and like,
Oh, I wonder if it's because we actually did get into all of those different places.
well, we gave them.
They thought we were a
gave
big
us the
deal, and
blessing,
we were
and
not.
then-
You can be in a magazine and still make nothing. So just know that.
Wow.
So I have a question. Kind of relates back to something we were talking about earlier. So I actually thought that, like, I can't remember if we said that I was working on 5 or 6 projects. I remembered another one. And there's a script I had for years that I loved, and I wanted to do it myself, but I'm so busy on everything else. I was like, hey, Pat Kuznandi, you guys know him, I think. He wanted to direct one of the scripts that I've written. And it's so bizarre to me because it's the first time I've written something and somebody else like went to direct it, but we shot a proof of concept during that 2-week period I was talking about. And my question to everybody is what level of power in a project that you have written and conceived could you give up? Could you
That's
let
a good
somebody else direct your stuff? Because here's the thing, like we're talking, if I was trying to do all of it, it would take 10 years to do, say, the 5 projects I'm working on right now, versus you let some of your friends come and do it. Maybe you can do 3 years and you can get all those projects done.
I would have to say that for me personally, it depends on the project. Because I have a feature script by the name of The Quiet Ones that I wrote years ago that I always wanted to shoot. Long story short, group of teenagers get attacked in the woods by 3 cannibals. I actually always imagined WWE wrestlers playing the cannibals.
Oh, nice.
But like, imagine if Kane, Edge, and Christian were cannibals in my film.
I was thinking The Undertaker, but yeah.
But so anyway, there's that script that I wrote, and it's actually one of the most commercial scripts that I wrote. And I thought to myself, you know what? If I were to ever sell a script and have somebody else do it, it would be this one. They'd probably cut out a lot of blood and gore in it because it's pretty messed up. But this would be the one that I would sell. But then on the other hand, there's another script that I wrote by the name of Turn, which is a vampire film. It's like a vampire drama horror, so an action film all in one. But that script, I would never sell. Like if that film is going to be made, I'm going to be the director. I did almost shoot it too. But it's like, I'm going to be the director. I'm going to be the producer because it has to be done a certain way. So my answer to your question is, it depends on the project.
I love that answer. I don't want to cut you. I love that answer because it's I have a script, the one that I mentioned that I sent to Sadie that she read in 2.5 hours a couple years ago and loved. That's the one that I can't give up. The one Pat's doing is like, I would love to do it, but somebody else can take it. So I love that you are exactly saying the same thing that I am, like with your Pat's project. I love that. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, it's just, I guess it's more of, maybe it's because of the fact that The Quiet Ones is very commercial. It's a very commercial script. It could easily, I mean, we've seen the story many times. I'd like to say I wrote it differently, but it's something that could easily be sold and somebody else could make it, and then I can make the money as a writer in order to produce the projects like Turn that I really want to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, that I need the creative control, because anybody else, like, one of the things that I was really afraid of if I were to ever sell my script for Turn is that someone would take the film and turn it into something like Twilight.
Yeah.
And it's like, not to go against Twilight, it's not my thing, but if anybody were to take Turn and turn it into Twilight, it would Twilight, if it were a horror movie, I would be inclined to just like reboot it myself. And I would be so mad.
I mean, if any of you guys listen to Quentin Tarantino at all, like, he's still, like, you could tell he's so upset what they did with what's the movie he wrote? Not True Romance, but the second one he wrote, with Mickey and Mallory.
Pulp Fiction? Oh no, Natural Born Killers.
Natural Born Killers, because he won't even finish the movie because he hates it so much.
Wow.
But a lot of it is because he knows what he wrote and he hates how it was changed at all.
Yeah, because that's what
It's his own movie.
Yeah, I know, but he went and hates it. Yeah.
Because that's what producers do sometimes. I mean, I'm really mad at the producers for. I don't know if I'm a big Saw guy.
Mhm.
I love Saw. I don't know how many. A lot of us Saw fans do know, but the whole reason why Saw 7 is this awful movie, in my opinion, and this is me as a huge Saw fan,
Mhm.
is because the writers, the creators, wanted to do 8. They wanted to do Saw 7 and 8. And they had an idea for 7 and 8. But the studio and the producers would only fund one movie because they wanted, and again, to each their own, they wanted Saw 7 to be 3D.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
And it's like, well, first off, in my opinion, why the hell do you want a 3D horror movie?
Yeah, especially Saw.
Unless it's like
You know,
time to make a joke.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
So
then
then
have fun with it, but
I remember
End Zone
trying to
3D.
it was
Yeah.
so
So
amazing, and then I rewatched it in 3D. I think with a couple people like years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. And I was like, this movie's so bad. It's literally just
so. And the reason why it's so bad is because they wanted so much. The producers, not the writers and the creators of the movie, but the producers wanted to produce a 3D movie, a 3D Saw film, and they blew the amount of money it took for them to do Saw 7 in 3D. They could have made 7 and 8 the way the writers and the creators of the story wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
So they blew away like double the money on one movie and forced the writers to be like, okay, take your ideas and put it into one film. And that's why the movie's so bad.
and it blows my mind because these movies, they're popular because they have a fan base.
Right.
Why screw with it? Why not just let the fans have something that they're
Because producers want money.
Like
that's more money if they have 2 movies that the fan base is going to go to.
Sometimes I mean, I'm not in Hollywood, but sometimes a lot of these when I hear stories like that, it makes me fearful for selling a script like Turn.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, as I said, if anybody were to take Turn and turn it into Twilight, I wouldn't be able. I would actively ask people to not watch the movie. You know, just so that I would say, here's my original script. I will let you read this for free. Just don't watch that
New
movie.
audiobook.
Yeah.
Have an audio drama. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's
look
at there it is. Yeah.
Not the cat. Not the cat.
And you got a child over there too.
Really?
Oh, the Soskins.
That's pretty cool.
Love them.
Yep.
Yeah, people don't mind the
nice
kids so
little
much.
sticker.
They just see the kid. They were
My
more
mark
worried
on
about
the
the
wall.
cat.
Well, for the record, I saw the kid first, and then I noticed the cat.
See, I saw the cat first. The people deserve it.
Yeah, the kid's probably a brat, but yeah, you know.
The kid deserved it, but not the cat. Not the cat.
Leave the pets alone. Sorry, folks. I know you're supposed
In the
pets are
hierarchy, the cat
untouchable,
should
but
always be first. But like, you know, when I used to have a cat Cauldron, he would like sleep on my chest and he put his butt right in my face.
Oh, my cat Apollo does that all the time, right, Apollo? Where are you? Go ahead.
Lexi,
Apollo-
does your cat put its butt in your face?
She does not actually. She will
That
wake me
one's
up like
crazy.
clockwork. I'm not sure exactly what time of the night it is because I don't
That's
check.
right.
but
Right, because
wakes
she
me
saw
up.
that sticker. She's like, I'm like, you know.
So we spare Clarice.
Yes.
Clarice
Yes.
is fine.
Yep.
She's off the list.
She does like to wake me up at like an ungodly hour of the morning to get petted, just to get petted.
Well, maybe she's back on the list.
Yeah.
It was a real for me when I was doing it. It was deciding if it was going to be a dog or a cat. But when you're going down in size, when you're
Oh
going
my
down
goodness.
in size, then it has to be, unless it was a small dog, and then it kind of loses.
Yeah, it could
the
be a
effect.
Chihuahua. Right.
Yeah.
So you could put. So it's okay to put cats in a human centipede, but not dogs.
Well, it would be, but it would lose the impact of this nice
Of the slope.
trail.
It's
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
the
it's
aesthetic,
not-
yeah.
The dogs would be too happy to do it. They'd be happy.
it's so true. They're already eating shit off the ground.
And they already
It's gonna
sniff
be
butts.
wagging its tail, so
They're
that would be
already
pretty
sniffing each other's
cool.
butts. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
now I kind
Unless
of like the idea of the happy dog
Or if
wagging.
it's a big dog in the front, like a Great Dane.
Big smiling dog.
This
Like,
is why he started with 3 dogs.
He did start with 3 dogs.
He did start with
Yeah.
3
Yes,
dogs.
he did. Yes, he did. I almost forgot about that. Yes, he did.
But it was a
boy.
Rottweiler, so it didn't have a long tail to wag. It would just have its little stump, which still would be cute.
Yeah.
Poor Dave.
Dave's like, nope. So how about those Mets, huh? Time to change the topic.
All,
Weather out there, man.
all fiction. All the stuff we talk about is so crazy. It's only a movie. It's only a movie.
It's funny. I was
It's
talking to my
only a
mom one
sticker.
day.
It's only a sticker.
I was just talking to her about a conversation I was having at like breakfast with a friend of mine, and we're just like, yeah, we come up, we're sitting eating breakfast, and we're like, okay, what's the coolest way to kill somebody at breakfast? Like, what can you do at breakfast? And my mom's just like, oh my god. So she was in my movies when I was a kid. She got killed off like all the time, and so when I was doing the Day of the Cicada, like back in Cincy, she was like, if you're doing a feature film and you don't kill me off, I am going to be pissed. And it was like, how cool is that as a mom? That's amazing.
That is amazing. Your mom's awesome.
That is great.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did you guys come up with for the best ways to kill someone off at breakfast? I'm so wanting to know.
Depends if you're like shoving food down somebody's like, you
Like
know,
a sausage?
it's been like a year since I had that conversation. Now you put me on the spot. I'm not sure.
That made me think of Vincent Price in it's one of my top favorite ones of him. It's not Dr. Phibes, but it's
I love Dr. Phibes.
different. It's him.
Peter
He's an
of Blood?
actor.
Peter
and
of Blood?
Yes. No.
Yes.
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 So good. And one of the reviewers he kills has cute little dogs. These cute little dogs. And so Vincent Price sneaks into the home. You're on this show. We're recording this, and ends up. This guy doesn't know. He's like, "Where are my cute little dogs?" He's so excited. He's on the show, and they're getting him ready, and talking to him about, you get this. You're gonna have this amazing meal. So he's asking where his cute little dogs are, and they just ignore it and continue. Diana Rigg is his daughter.
Okay.
Really cool. So they're bringing the stuff out, and then Vincent Price they put this big pastry bag into his mouth, start feeding him, and it's his dogs.
Oh Lord.
And so that's how they kill him. They just funnel dogs into his face until he dies.
Wow.
Okay, so, oh my gosh. If you were writing The Walking Fucking Dead and you were going to kill Beth off, why the hell do you not have Maggie eating her sister and the cannibals like fucking killed Beth and like fed? Oh my god, that would have been the most amazing. I hate the way they killed off Beth. I hate Beth's last storyline. But if they would have had her be eaten like by Maggie, fuck.
Wow. Well, when I too absolutely hate the way they killed Beth off. But when I still think that I've often thought about a better way to kill Beth off. And I haven't been able to come up with one because Beth is such a sweet and innocent character that it's like you don't want to see her getting ripped apart.
Right, but then you do this thing where it's like the audience realizes she's been killed and fed to her sister. Holy shit.
I think that might actually, I think that something like that, and believe me, I've thought about this. I think that something like that might hurt your show more than it would help. Like, I actually think audience members would you'll turn off people.
Because it did turn off people when Negan came in and was so dark. I actually thought it was good stuff, but it did turn off.
The thing is, I'm surprised it turned off people when Negan was so dark, because that's Negan's character. But when it comes to Beth,
I think a lot of people watching, didn't know.
Yeah, and they were not. They had no idea. They're just.
I think a lot of people like Glenn's character and were like, "Oh shit, okay."
Yeah. Well, even with Glenn, like. But Glenn is different from Beth. Like, Beth is this sweet, innocent girl, and to watch her getting ripped up, like when the black kid died. I forget his name, but when the black kid died, yeah, he was an innocent kid, but seeing him die like that was like, okay, that's fine. But if that would have been Beth, I think there would be like a revolt. So when I think about a better way to kill Beth, it's because of that, like, because of how sweet and innocent the character is. I can't think like I can't think of a better way, but there should have been a better way.
I totally love and respect what you're saying. I think we've seen so many levels of Janet Leigh and Drew Barrymore. I actually think that it would have, like, because there was a time period on The Walking Dead where nobody was safe, and if you had done that to Beth, and by the way, I'm saying like off screen, like you're not seeing her getting killed by the cannibals, but you suddenly like, holy hell, that would have been, to me, like, tremendous. Like, and I get that there's censors, there's always going to be censors, but like the censors are not the ones watching these shows. The censors are not the Walking Dead was so freaking popular.
It got away with a lot of graphic
holy fucking shit. I mean, they were eating the one dude. Like, I honestly think it would have been fucking amazing, honestly. But I respect your opinion. I do. There are people that are out there that have stopped watching over the years for whatever reason.
Dave in the audience says storytelling of the show got too safe and muddled, and it got boring.
That's my point. If you kill Beth off like that, fuck, nobody is safe.
I think. Well, I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No, you're good. You're good. I was done.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that the reason why I happen to agree. Like, the story did get a little muddled, but again, I think that it had more to do with. I don't think it was the actual story. I think it had more to do with the producers and even the actors' mentality off camera. Because around the time of the Negan storyline, first off, they killed off Carl. Big mistake. And they killed off Carl because the producers realized he was turning 18 and they didn't want to pay him more.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's why they killed off Carl. They killed off Carl because the producers found out he was turning 18 and they didn't want to pay him more. So his last day of filming was actually the day before his 18th birthday.
No.
So they kill off Carl, which was a big mistake.
Yeah.
And then they killed off Carl knowing that Andrew Lincoln, because Andrew Lincoln is an English actor. He lives in the UK or London or whatever. And he's in the United States 6, 7, 8 months out of the year filming this show. So he's desperately homesick to go back to his family.
Mm-hmm.
So he was actually asking to be written off the show long before they decided to kill off Carl.
Wow.
So they could have easily given killed off Rick Grimes, or at least did what they did, which I think was a good way to get Rick Grimes off the show, but then kept Carl going.
Well, I always thought the problem was you started to kill off so many characters that people followed, and after a while, you had I watch the show all the time. I was like, I can't even remember who half these people are because I wasn't invested in them.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
I
when something
can.
happens to those people, it's almost like I don't really care.
There would be like 20 or 30 people in a battle, and it's like, well, okay, I'm just watching an action show now. I don't give a fuck who actually dies.
Well, I can tell. I can tell you this.
At one point, there was a point where I think it was AMC, and I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure that my memory is correct. That AMC said that they wanted to make the show run 20 years, and it was like year 6 or 7, and it's like, dude, if I am gonna watch Rick and Michonne and Carl and all these people for 20 years, I'm not going to be scared that they're going to die. And that is what made The Walking Dead the baddest ass show ever, because it was like Game of Thrones. When Joffrey died, you did not know who was going to survive.
But I think then what you have to do is you have to make people care about your new characters then when you bring them in.
Well,
because you have to start, working those people in. Exactly. Otherwise, you're going to kill off everyone that people know, and then you're left with people no one cares about.
Right? I can say this. Many of us have watched The Walking Dead many, many times. I am just recently introducing my wife to The Walking Dead, and she has never ever seen the show. And the minute they killed off Carl. First off, they kill off Carl. My wife had to stop watching for a month. Because then they remove Morgan, then they remove Rick, and to see my wife basically watch all these lovable characters just go, like there was literally gaps, like month to like 3 weeks to a month gaps where my wife is like, no, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. Like, I can't watch this show. Why they have to get rid of him? Why they have to do this? Why my wife, and she just recently went back. We're on season 10 now. She just recently came back. And she's still, after every episode, she's like, I want Rick back. And the only reason why she's continuing on is because I told her, you really have to get to the end if you want to watch the spin-off show with Rick and Michonne. And she's even upset about that Michonne left. And I have to keep explaining to her, it's like, no, they didn't want Michonne to leave. Michonne was getting really, really popular. She left on her own in order to do Black Panther and alter. She just recently, I think at around the same time she left, she just recently optioned a play that that she sold and is gonna be put on Broadway or whatever. But Denai Guerrero got really big, so she wanted to leave the show, just like how Rick wanted to leave. Maggie came back. Maggie wanted to leave, but then when her other show did really, really bad and they canceled it, she came back.
Yeah.
So I love that you just walked into that one, because when I heard, because I had stopped when Carl died, when I heard that there was a show that was going to be on with Maggie and Negan, I was like, okay, so what are they going to do after the first act? And my friends were like, what do you mean? I was like, well, Maggie obviously shoots Negan in the fucking face.
Yeah, I've had this conversation with my brother because I read I was a big fan of the comic books, and they had a great ending to Negan. Not to spoil it for everybody, but you get the backstory to Negan. He named his bat what he did because it was his wife who died, and then he really loses it when his wife dies and becomes this terrible person. And so he tries to get back with the group. He goes and he kills the Whisperer, the leader of the Whisperers, and brings her severed head. He he seduces her and then decapitates her. I mean, he's not a right guy, and he comes back and thinking this will make like friends with them, but they can never be friends with this guy because he's a psychopath. So he leaves and he goes out and he buries the bat. It's like a symbol of burying his wife, and he lives his life in solitude. You never know what really happens to him. So in the show, when they have him actually become like part of the group and they befriend him, and especially the woman that he beat her husband to death with a
Well,
baseball
no,
bat in front of
'cause-
her. This is like there's no way that they're
now-
gonna.
no, because
they can
Maggie-
coexist.
Now we're supposed to believe that she's off on a show with him and is not going to kill him at the first. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just
Wait
can't
till-
buy that they could ever coexist as like.
Well, actually,
any
I
type of
think-
friends of any level.
I think that now I've only watched the first episode of the Maggie Negan spinoff, but I think Maggie, if I remember correctly, because I saw Maggie never actually, she started to accept him because he saved her son.
It's a writer-producer thing right there.
Right.
You just said right there is a writer-producer thing. It's not. It's like Jason going to space. It's not something that would actually happen in the real world.
Right. And I totally agree with you, because when it comes to the show, the only reason why Maggie and Negan go to New York is because Maggie has her son kidnapped, and apparently only Negan is the guy is a former like Negan person, is a former savior. So Negan needs to go with her to help. And my whole thing is, it's like, okay, Maggie, we understand that you're never going to get along with this guy. And we totally get it. It's cool. But stop asking this man for help. Because it seems to me...
That's not in Maggie's character. She was
exactly, because it seems to me she keeps going back to him, and she keeps asking him for help. And it's like, I hate you. I'll never trust you. Please help me save my son. By the way, I still hate you and can never trust you. It's like, dude,
can I
come on.
So right now we have a very similar thing going on with a disconnect between fans and producers.
Right.
So Joker right now is getting bombed. Why? Because they decided, and I haven't seen it, but in my opinion, what I'm seeing is they decided to bring Gaga in, which was she's a great actress, but then they made a musical. Meanwhile, Damien is being true to the story and his fans, and they're making a ton of money because of it. So Maggie,
are they making money?
He meant for a Terrifier.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. I thought you meant Joker was making money.
No, he meant Damien. You know,
right. Okay.
Against the grain of their fans, and then Damien giving
and he's saying basically that he's going to stop at part 4 because he wants to be true to his story.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Walking Dead has gone so long that they can't possibly be true to their story, and as fans, we see that because there's no way. Realistically, I don't care if Maggie's son got kidnapped or whatever. Like, they can come up with whatever. But
right.
For me, there's no way in hell that Maggie would take one step with Negan before shooting. I'm sorry.
It's just no. I totally agree with you. I mean, I will, and it's really the producers and a lot of these people in Hollywood who want these things to just keep going and going and going and going. And not knowing when to stop.
Exactly. If they would have stopped at season 5, it would have been amazing.
Well, I think they should have. I as someone who watched the whole season of all of Walking Dead, if they had just taken Negan's story and shortened it, because personally, I think the show came back when the Whisperers came.
As a fan of the book, I also thought the comic book came back when the Whispers. I thought it was the last hurrah of the comic book, the Whispers storyline.
Yeah.
Before that, it kind of had fallen, and then when that came back, that was the last hurrah. And then I don't think anything after that was actually good at all in the comic book, except for the very end.
I guess my whole question is from a storytelling point of view. I think Stranger Things had this problem as well. If you have a good, say, 3 seasons story arc, and you got really good bad guys, going season 4 and 5, it's like it's almost like you're just going too far, right? Like you're you're trying to milk what you built. If that makes sense. Does that make sense?
No, it totally makes sense. And that's what Hollywood does all the time. I mean,
Right.
that's why there are 3 different sequel seasons out for Walking Dead. That's why they did Fear the Walking Dead, which was absolutely terrible. I don't know if any of you guys watch Fear the Walking
I haven't
Dead.
watched any of the.
But
I was so excited for that one, but it was like, yeah, no. I thought one of their best storylines was the whole. I think that was the one where the guy thought he killed the dude. I thought that was a brilliant like storyline they could have taken into like even the second season almost, and they just killed it off like before the commercial break. But I thought that was brilliant.
I wonder because you brought up a Terrifier, and I saw earlier today. Not only is it #1 movie, which is insane, it's going on that it might be the biggest unrated film ever. It might be the biggest success at the box office of any unrated film in the history of
which
movies.
is
what would be
wonderful.
a contest? What would be
what
the
is
second?
the other movies? I'm not sure, but
I'm curious to know that too.
Yeah, because I don't think there's that many unrated movies that make it anywhere.
Yeah.
Wondering what that would be.
Yeah, well, it used to be back in the day, people wouldn't want to release an unrated movie because you just wouldn't be able to play it. Well, you would be able to play it, but you wouldn't be able to advertise it. But
that's why I'm wondering, like, is that really a big claim? Because if unrated movie
it's the best one in it's the best one in the room but it's the only person in the room.
Yes. And I really liked it. I mean, I don't know if like is the right word, but I thought it was very fun.
I've seen the first 2, and I really want to see this third one. Like
I thought the third one was actually the best movie of the 3, and I liked all 3. I was someone who liked Terrifier, the first one, better than part 2, and most people like the second one better. But I like all 3, but I think 1 and 3 have a better vibe. I think 1 and 3 feel more the same movie to me.
Guys, I gotta head out. It was lovely talking with everyone.
Yeah, it's good to see you, Lexi.
And hopefully I'll see you guys next week.
That would be great.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. See you soon.
Bye-bye, Lexi.
Right, bye-bye.
I'm trying to see. I'm reading the article, but I'm not seeing.
I actually should head out too because I got to finish making these props.
All right, sounds good.
Luck to you.
But thank you guys. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, see ya. There's
also
what movie? Wild Robot was #2, and there's a theory that the reason it's doing so well is that a lot of kids bought tickets to it and stuck into Terrifier 3.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
This weird, really big bump this week.
No,
wow.
I have a friend that we were gonna go take her kids to Terrifier, but then it was like, oh, nobody under 18. That's brilliant. I love it.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yes. See you, man.
Sorry, I gotta head out. Bye, guys.
Say hi for us.
I will.
I'm part of the Terrifier group, but I saw some people are they really mad at other fans who bring their kids. I personally, to me, it's up to the kid. I would have been fine seeing the movies when I was a kid. It really depends on the kid. So. And also, if you're bringing a 12-year-old, I don't personally see a big. If you're bringing a 5-year-old, I guess that would be weird.
Yeah.
But see, I didn't even think about. Oh, this is weird here now. So,
what's weird?
Yeah, of course. Neal goes to just ham. Why was it bad before? Did you not like it?
I'm gonna get my face on.
Yeah. Well, it was cutting half of David's face off. I thought.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. This article doesn't list what else is there, but still, it would be pretty wild. Plus, it's wild. Like Chris was talking about, what's commercial and what isn't, and no one would have thought Terrifier movies would be commercial. Even if people go see horror movies, and then the second one just kept, it was going to play 3 days and just kept. It was pretty wild. Even had the limited run at all.
Yeah,
and then it did so well, and it just kept playing, and
that's awesome.
And I would never think this, indie horror film. Everyone knows art now. It's there's costumes, there's shirts sold everywhere. It's crazy.
When you mentioned David Howard Thornton going out to trivia night, and what are the things? This is a whole shock to him. He posted is this real
'cause
life?
he was the guy who, I don't know. I love him. I think he's awesome, but I don't know what he did before, Art the Clown. And now he's friggin' Art the Clown. He's on giant podcasts and all
It's
kinds.
funny.
It's
My
getting like
buddy
millions
Pat was
of
at
views.
that night trivia, and he had his back to him, and like at the end of the night, he like turned and was like, "Oh, holy shit!"
Melody, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. It's good to see you.
Nice to have you.
Too.
Yeah. So
I'm so
Melody,
happy
Annabelle
to,
was not
finally have
on when
gotten
you
on
were
here.
Yeah.
What
So
was that?
I was saying that you didn't meet Annabelle last time you were on. Annabelle was not here.
I
So
know. I'm so happy to actually get to talk to you. That's awesome.
It's great to talk with you as well. I'm glad you're here.
Me too.
Round the Decay has its premiere on 9 days from now.
Yes, it feels like 9 years. Like it's been a long time coming. So excited.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, I love the new poster. I have it here.
Yes.
The new poster's really cool because it has kind of that like old
it's so
school
90s, like which I love. Which
I love it too because it looks like it's hand painted.
Cool. Very cool.
All the characters in the book. I like that a lot, and I love the mouth. I like that we don't know much about what monster is going on here. I think that's good.
which is why I was tight-lipped then. I have to be tight-lipped now, but
fair enough.
And it says it takes a monster to beat a monster, which has my, I'm thinking what's happening.
Intrigue is what it's all about.
So many trailers now give away the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this I can tell you right now. The trailer for Round the Decay gives not even a quarter of like anything. So it's when you see it you have a lot to be surprised with. So it's awesome.
Very cool. Very cool.
And so we were taking a survey here. Are you pro or anti candy corn?
Oh God, don't ask me okay. So my man and I always talk about the fact that for somebody who lives the industry, I know nothing about anything. I have very
food.
No, the actual candy.
Food,
the candy
corn.
Eat at
It's
Halloween.
not even a movie.
There is a movie candy corn, but we're just talking up straight up candy
I'm
corn.
the person who's I watch, I know nothing, but candy corn itself, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of a fan.
Good,
Candy corn is doing pretty good tonight.
Yeah.
Candy corn is in the lead.
It's sugar, and I like sugar. I really do. So
sugar and wax.
Hey, well, wax comes in handy in a lot of different ways. So there we go. I knew we'd get along. Exactly.
We do have a question here, though. You might not have an answer for, but question for the panel: what's your favorite horror movie of the year so far?
I don't want to just list off Terrifier 2, but I did definitely love it. It was so much fun.
That and The Substance was great. We saw them both this weekend.
Substance was great. I really liked The Wait.
Oh yeah, that was really good too.
That was amazing. And there was another one. No,
Destroy
it wasn't.
All Neighbors was earlier in the year. That's a really fun movie.
I don't think I ended up seeing Destroy All Neighbors, did I?
Yeah, we remember we talked about on the show. We had one of the guys on the show. The guy played the homeless man.
We'll have to review that off here.
This is where I go back to oh hell, I'm an editor. I'm like, what movies came out this year? I know it's freaking October, but I'm like,
we always do a show at the end of the year going over our top 13. I actually keep track of movies that I like throughout the year. Otherwise, I'll think, I like this movie. Then I'll look it up. It's like, that came out 5 years ago. That's not,
Oh, Exuma was.
I would say by the end of the year, my favorite movie will be Day of the Cicada.
There you go. Yeah, round the
Sounds
decay.
good.
Yeah.
Round the decay, absolutely. Like, yep.
God,
And that's
that
in
was one of the
where?
things. I'm like, what came out this year? It's like, I mean, I've seen a lot of. Well, no, I haven't seen a lot of movies. That's terrible. It's terrible as an editor. You just don't.
Yeah. Well,
And I find that weird too, because like as an editor, you almost like have to just inherently know how a movie should look because we don't see a lot of it.
It's interesting.
Do you do anything for Halloween, Melody?
well, usually I'm the only mom who dresses up like some kind of excuse to wear like a slutty costume. That's pretty much my go-to. Uh, and usually take the kids in different, like, my ex-husband like takes them where he takes them, and I'll take them where I take them. So they kind of get like a plethora of like normal, like we go places like get candy, or to like the really wealthy where they get like the full size candy bars.
That came up
That's
early, right? Yeah.
that's the extent of my Halloween excitement. Now, mind you, I've had like a couple of outings as like a grown adult, but
Mm-hmm.
that's about it. But this year is going to be different. I can feel it. It is.
Interesting. How old are your kids? If you don't mind my asking.
18, 17, 11, and 10.
Oh, that's quite the
That's
spread.
Yeah, that's the two batches, as
Yeah.
they call them. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was like the 5-year in between period. Like, so yeah.
Are they friendly with each other? I know sometimes that big age gap, the older kids are just like, I don't even know these
Oh my
people.
God,
And they
no!
just do their thing.
I'm my ex-husband and I are a shit show. So the fact that they are so amazing and so great to each other, and the fact that my two older kids are more stable than like their parents put together, it's good. They're really good.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, my brother's 9 years older, and we always got along really well.
It's rare. It really is. Like, people always love to like watch the shows where they're like the kids all get along, and mine actually do that, which is to me bizarre because like, but they do. I'm very, very lucky.
And you can send in your costume. We'll do it. We have an annual Halloween costume contest. So if you take pictures, you can send them in.
Yeah, you don't have to physically send the costume. Just take a picture.
right.
If you care to share, you do not have to show
here's
your kids to the world, but
here's my PO box.
we'd love to see your kids too. So anybody that has anything, we like to see. And we love Halloween, so seeing other people enjoying Halloween is great.
We will do that for sure.
Ludite Supreme, Johnny, how are you doing?
Not that. How are you?
I'm good.
Pretty
How are
good.
you? Been a while.
Yeah. It has.
Mm-hmm.
You got any plans for Halloween? And are you pro or anti candy corn?
Well, I saw this thing on Facebook the other day. It looked like candy corn was formed into a mouthful of teeth. So now I'm very anti candy corn.
All right, you turned you off on the candy.
Yeah, that goes in the eye. I
All
can't get
right,
that
all
off
right.
my head.
I just had my wisdom teeth taken out. Maybe I can replace them with candy corn.
Candy corn.
Oh yeah. You
Are they
get
going
the
to be point
ladies
side
then.
up or point side out?
Right, so they're like a molar. Like, yeah, okay. I guess it probably work. I saved my teeth, Melody, and I'm gonna use them in Arbor Day.
Oh God, that's perfect. I love it.
That broken off bit looked
That's
a little
great.
painful there.
I told a younger cast member, Andrew, and he was like, Neal, I'm not going to put your teeth in my mouth. And I'm like, no, not
No,
I thought it was funny. That's what
Someone
he
would
thought.
think that you would do that to them says a lot.
He thought like I wanted to put him in someone's
Hey,
mouth and
the
then
fact that he
pretend to hit
wasn't just
him.
like, hey man, whatever you gotta do, you gotta do. Like that's
Yeah,
True.
it's a true actor, exactly. He is up for anything here.
Except for putting your teeth in his mouth.
Yeah,
Yeah, he actually said that. He said we could throw him around, we could throw him into trees and all this stuff, but no old teeth in his mouth.
Well, he'll get over that with time. You do what you have to do. You know,
Right.
you do.
That's good. That's good advice for all the
Thank you.
youngsters.
Thank you very much.
What's a little hepatitis between friends?
What were you saying, Annabelle?
Oh, I was just going to ask John to repeat himself. What was that, John?
I said, what's a little hepatitis between friends?
Exactly. No big deal.
Not that you have hepatitis, Neal, but
So something the Forest Hills is available now on DVD, Blu-ray, and video on demand, which is Shelley Duvall's final film.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
Definitely
she made
want to
that.
see it.
You know, it's her comeback movie, and now it's her final movie.
Yeah. I'm glad she was able to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and because there were so many things, that all the drama around her and all this terrible stuff and her being taken advantage of. So it's nice that she was able to do that. And I know the person that made the film was so respectful and really cared about her.
Yeah, Scott Goldberg. And Scott was on, for people who remember our first year, he used to be a recurring guest on the show in our first year.
Mm-hmm.
And we were going to, I didn't see it till late. He was actually asking for the link earlier, but it was when we started, it was on Facebook. I didn't see it. So I sent it to him, but I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. And we were going to have Shelley on the show, but it was, she was getting sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing the movie.
Definitely.
I will say they gave away kind of a spoiler in a review I saw on, I think it was Bloody Disgusting.
Don't share it. Don't share
So
it.
I'm not going to. I'm just saying, I didn't know the movie was a certain thing, and they just showed it right in the thing. I was like, wow, that's not nice.
So avoid Bloody Disgusting.
Yes.
All right. Just stay away.
Joe Castro, I didn't see him till earlier. He's here too. Super excited to see Arbor Day. Well, that's very
Where is
nice.
he at?
Oh, he's on the Facebook group. Good to see you, Dave Bailey. Looking forward to the premiere of Day of the
I don't know
Cicada.
what I did, but I'm.
Have Joe jump in. Always love having the Joe around. He's full of energy.
I thought Melody was just hiding in the shadows, but I think she thinks she must have did something where we can't see her.
Oh. I see.
Getting ready to fix it now.
Oh, okay.
LOL.
No problem. Yeah. I'm sorry to bring attention.
Like the LOL.
Richard Finesca yeah, you know what I'm saying, Richard. Is looking forward to the werewolves movie. I'm assuming you mean Wolfman.
No, there's a movie called Werewolves.
Really?
I actually have the trailer. They sent us the trailer earlier today, so I had it queued up to play if you guys would like to
play
watch
it. I want to see it. Are you guys up for it?
Yeah, I've not watched it yet.
Cool.
Love werewolves.
Yeah, it's just straight up just called Werewolves. Here we go.
Bite me.
Ooh, can I say something?
Yeah.
Okay, so when Sharknado came out, they were immediately like, okay, what the Alligator NATO and all this crazy stuff with tornadoes.
Right.
That looks to me like The Purge with werewolves. I am so in. I am so in.
I like the werewolf. The werewolf looked really cool. I like a two-legged werewolf, not on all fours. So yeah.
It was millions were turned into werewolves. Millions. That's amazing.
Yeah, so I'm into that. Seems like it's a lot of werewolf movies coming out. It seems like you got the Wolfman.
All Star with Larry.
Yeah, Larry Fessenden.
Blackout.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back to Melody. We can see you again here.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, definitely much easier to see you than before. Cool.
Todd, our friend Todd, get in touch with Mike Caravella. Astroplane Drifter premieres this Friday at Horror Fest in Utah. I have
really
2
good.
roles in that film. All right.
It does look good.
Yeah.
So
A lot of our
very
friends have a lot of
proud
cool
of our
stuff coming up.
Todd
Yes.
getting into so many things. Our wonderful reviewer, Todd Quality Jaeger.
Today's the first day I can drink warm liquid after the teeth were moved.
We're all very excited for you, Neal.
Yes.
I would specify what you can drink. I wouldn't just say warm liquid.
Oh
I'd
God.
leave it wide open.
I will say the hot tea, hot coffee tastes good after days of just cold brew.
That was perfect.
Neal, someone in the audience has a question for joining. Do they just click join?
Yeah, I'll send the link here. It should be pretty easy. Either it will work best with Chrome, or if you're on your mobile device, I would copy and paste it into Chrome or whatever, anything. And then yeah, you should just be able to click join, add your name in, and you should be good to go. It's nothing to download, unlike Zoom. You don't have to download anything. You just pop right on. Yeah. Are you going to be at the premiere, Melody?
Oh heck yes.
Nice. Very cool.
I'm beyond excited.
Is that I'm not sure where you are. So is it very far for you?
Yeah. I reside in Wilmington, North Carolina, so it's
a trip.
pseudo far, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gonna make the best of it? Are you gonna hang out?
Oh hell yes.
Cool.
Yes. We're gonna take advantage of the situation and kind of spend a couple days before, a couple days after.
It is really beautiful right now.
Yeah, I'm just excited to finally get to, when I first spoke to Adam, we didn't even know if the SAG strike was gonna come to an end. And that would make or break whether I could do it or not. And I told him, I was like, if this breaks, this is your year. And it absolutely has been. So to get to kind of see him relish in this, because it's such a big for the whole crew, his cast and crew are his cast and crew, it's a whole nucleus. And just to get to be there with everybody, it's pretty exciting. So
yeah, that's awesome.
He was great. I know I didn't get a chance to talk with you, but having him on, he was lovely. He seems like a great person to work with.
He's pretty awesome, and I know he's not really huge on public speaking of any kind. So, we were proud of him because he's done well in having to kind of pull himself out of that and do it and not sound like a bumbling idiot, which I do, but I don't give a fuck. So it's okay. I'm whatever. I ramble. I do vlogs, talking about French fries, or who cares? But
I like French fries.
Right? See, exactly. Yeah. That's So for him, he actually cares what the public strategically thinks about him, and he's awesome. So.
Yeah, and today, if you're an independent filmmaker, you have to get out there to promote your stuff. So obviously it's great if you have people like you also promoting it, but he himself has to get out there. And I thought he came off really well in the show. He's a very likable guy.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that is one thing that is not, like I said, it's not easy for him. He's not like, hey, look at me, and that's why he handpicks people like myself who able to be like, hey, but yeah, it was the entire experience was epic, and I feel like it will be reflected in the film, because it was the first time so much money has ever been put into one of his productions.
Yeah.
And nothing changed that. Like, it didn't change the fact that everybody was, you know, pulling their own weight. Everybody was helping. Everybody was, you know, just as involved as the next person. And that's, you know, I've been doing this for a really long time.
Mhm.
I've never seen it before. So
You have
Honestly,
someone that inspires that.
yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a big selling point, that you've been so proud of it and wanted to do well.
It's worth it. I
Yeah.
mean, like I said, I've worked on major productions that couldn't even hold like a torch to at all. Like, the way independent film is done is how it should always be done, because the communication between everybody involved in something that was once like a thought should always be that way. It shouldn't. It should not be strategically, you know, based upon who speaks to who, and this is like how this goes, and this is how today's day is going to go, and nobody's going to talk about it. We're just, you're going to do your thing, and we know that this person gets this much more because of money and blah blah blah. Like, that's what makes things not personal when you watch the film. But when you watch a film where everything is personal, you feel personally connected to it. So
I love what you said about something just being a thought, because it's so real that these things come from just that.
they are. And I have them all the time. Do they come to fruition a whole lot? No, but there's crazy thoughts all the time. But when you can take that thought and it becomes an entire production,
Yeah.
you know, and everybody's a moving part of that thought
Mhm.
and brings it to life, and you watch that happen, you fall back in love with why we're here and what we do. So
Very well said, I think.
beautiful.
Mr. Todd here, tell us about this movie that's premiering.
Well, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good, because I didn't know I could do this. I wanted to plug in my blue mic, but instead I just stuck my headphones into the computer, and I hope my voice sounds okay, because this webcam I have, expensive as it is, has a shitty microphone.
In the future, you can upgrade, but we can hear you and we can make out the words, and we'll go from there.
Do I sound like I'm underwater?
Not too much underwater. Richard
Okay.
says he likes the wizard guest.
Oh,
I'm assuming he means you.
well, I gotta tell you, when I clicked to join, I just remembered, oh my God, I gotta put clothes on. So that's,
Appreciate it.
that's the robe and the wizard.
Yeah, we don't want to get banned off YouTube here.
Well, okay, so yeah, Astroplane Drifter. It's based on Mike Caravella's short that he did back in 2021, and it won like 15 festival awards. And so he asked me if I wanted to be in it, and I was just going to be Screamer number 3, which meant I would have only been on camera for like 1 second. But then he asked me a week before the shoot if I wanted to play another character, which I can't mention right now because he won't allow us. He wants it all to be a surprise. But it premieres this Friday night, the 18th, at the, I think it's Dread Central involved. It's the Horror Fest in St. George, Utah. And it's a apparently a big deal. I myself did not want to drive 6 hours to go there, but
where's your commitment, Todd?
Oh,
Melody's doing it for her movie.
I'm still kind of broke, so no, I couldn't do it. But he said it'll be doing more screenings after that. Probably the first one will be in Yucca Valley, where a lot of it was shot. And so yeah, Astroplane Drifter. There's a trailer on YouTube for it. You should check it out. It's a very vague trailer because he doesn't want surprises. He doesn't want it to be blown, So there's that. And then I also want to mention, while I got your attention, you guys know that I've been voicing a lot of films for Domiziano Cristoforo. You were talking about Terrifier 3 earlier. As far as extreme cinema goes, Domiziano. No, I won't say anything, Annabelle.
I know your feelings.
I know, so I'm not going to say anything. But as far as extreme cinema goes, Domiziano is there. But his films are very esoteric and kind of art house. They're beautifully shot. So you get a lot of gory things, but you also get something to think about. So this one, What Have You Done, Daniel, starring Lynn Lowry and Frank LaLaggia, who directed Lady in White and Fear No Evil. They're in it. It was just released on Blu-ray from Gordrome. This is part of it says Daniel Sacrifice because it's a double feature of What Have You Done, Daniel, which is the prequel to the other film, American Guinea Pig Sacrifice.
Oh.
So, and in this film, Frank LaLaggia, who plays the mayor, I guess was unavailable to redub his scene. So Domiziano asked me, and I was like, oh my God, you want me to be the voice of Frank LaLaggia? What's Frank going to think? And he told me I did a great job, so I'm proud of that. And then another one of Domiziano's films from 2010 called Bloody Sin, Oltretomba, which is sort of a story based on that type of comic series in Italy. Bloody Sin, he just released the director's cut, also from Gordrome out of Europe. These are Region B discs, I believe, so you have to have an Xbox or an all-region player. I am the voice of the intro paragraph in this one. I mean, that may not seem like much, but he also had me do the voice for his next film, Flamentad. And I'm sure you've heard of Domiziano's anthology coming up called Fallacies. I have a voice in that as well. So
God, you're going to need to do a reading for us.
Yeah.
So we know what's happening.
PH, by the way.
Well, yeah, I should have. Well, I sometime maybe I'll send you one of the clips of because what I do with Domiziano is I use my phone for my voice, but instead of voice recorder, because that doesn't sound good, I record myself on video reading the lines, upload that to my Vimeo privately, then he downloads it and pulls the audio from that. And I do a video of me reading some lines. I should maybe try to send you some. Yeah,
I want you to do it live, Todd. Live.
Oh, you mean like
not this minute? But
I know, but I mean like I'll dig something up for you. Yeah.
Do a read. You come in, it'll be like spoken word. It could be spoken Todd.
And I guess I'll also throw in. I mean, there's a lot more going on, but I gotta say that when I saw that I only had 20 seconds in Psycho Ape 2, I was kind of slightly like, oh, just 20 seconds. But
there are 20 juicy seconds.
Well, as that one guy from, is it Homeschool Horror or Horror Homeschool, the podcast in the UK, he mentioned that scene as his personal favorite and raved about Neal's shirt.
That always makes me happy.
He says, on the podcast, he's going, and there's a shirt. I bought the shirt. And he was sending the other gal on the podcast a link, and she was just, they both agreed it was the most random scene they've ever seen. So,
praise Bill Whedon.
I am so proud of it, and I'm ever so grateful to you guys because, you know, this whole channel through you, and then I got to know Bill Whedon, and now he and I are like besties. So
I'm very happy for you.
I just got to thank you guys because while I'm not considering myself an actor nor a filmmaker, even though my short film This Is How made it onto a Dark Side releasing Blu-ray, no, this is just all, I'm doing it for fun. I'm having a great time, and I'm really thankful to y'all. So thank you.
Earned it just by being your Todd self.
Yeah, well, as my tagline for my old radio shows in St. Louis was guaranteed Todd quality or so what. And that's how I am. And Frank Elagia, of all things, people, said to me that I love you because you're you. You know, you're not trying to be something for everybody or like in the movies. I'm just kind of basically myself in everything I do. But that's been appreciated by him, and that meant the world to me. So, you know, that's my little spotlight here.
I appreciate you too, Todd. You're a lovely person.
Oh, blush. I'm probably very red right now anyway.
So behind the scenes photo of Todd and Bill in Psycho Ape 2, which was produced by Annabelle and I.
Yeah. and my character's name is Sirloin, and that was basically Annabelle's idea.
Came out of the IHOP conversation.
Yeah, it actually was Denny's. But,
was it?
Yeah, it was Denny's. But yeah, it was because Addison had a really scary looking.
Oh my
God!
I didn't mean to post that.
Not the cats.
I didn't mean to pose an accent. It was an accent.
Yeah. Oh no, it was very apropos. But no, that was the best thing ever because they had not come up with a name for me. And when you saw Addison's steak or whatever it was on his plate,
sirloin.
Yeah,
and we questioned Addison's choice. We were at a Denny's and he ordered like a sirloin steak. We were not sure that was the wisest decision, and apparently it was not.
We didn't like it, but we got a sweet name for you.
Right.
Yeah, I'm so proud. And the fact that, you know, the T-shirt, of all things, the T-shirt, because I know people who have ordered it, and they wear it, they say, I wear it at the gym, or, you know, I wear it at conventions and stuff. So the Hippie Dick shirt and the Sirloin shirt, they're out there, and I could. Two people came into where I work with the Hippie Dick shirt on.
Nice.
So Neal, you know, you've sort of enhanced my life. What can I say? Thank you.
Oh, that makes me very happy. I'm trying to find a picture of the Hippie Dick shirt.
Oh God! Now, Neal, I have to ask you, when you base that design on Hippie Dick, did you only see the cropped version of the original photo, or did you happen to somehow see the actual photo?
I believe it was the crop because I used pictures off of your Facebook, so I don't think it was anything. Yeah,
I could never put the entire photo on Facebook. No way. But I just was like, because I wonder how he got things.
Those who don't know, Todd was a professional adult model.
Nice.
Yes.
In cinema as well.
Yeah, my name was Todd Yeager, and I, if you don't mind, I'll tell you the quick story for the name. When I was on the set of, I'm gonna mention the film, and I'm sure the word can be used here on your podcast. The film was Rural Erections, and so
Dave's like, what am I doing here?
No. He's studying education.
I was like, sense-wise, I'm like, I don't know if we can say that.
Yeah, I think the word, because it could be a building. It could be a bulding.
That's true. That's
rural.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're really proud of yourself, Todd.
I love that. That's great.
So one of the co-stars, Jimmy Gray, said to me, have you picked a name out? And I was like, no. And he goes, well, take your middle name and the street you grew up on. And that would have been John Yeager with a Y. And then a friend of mine said, well, just change the Y to a J, Jaeger. That's German for the hunter. And I said, well, I'll just change my first name back to Todd, because Todd in Old English is the fox. So I'm the fox hunter. And yeah, and to this day, even though I look, there we go.
It's a classic 8-bit, like a NES game. I don't think they probably would have released that on the Nintendo back in the day.
But I swear to God, half of my coworkers all ordered buttons and stickers. One ordered a laptop cover.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Yeah, it's out there, and I'm so proud. And you know, and today, even though I look a lot different than 25 years ago, I can't believe that I'm still recognized. And I will say that if one of the big reviewers for a site said that the film was hardcore hee-haw meets Pink Flamingos.
That is quite.
I love that you just said that your hippie dick is out there. That's
and dang, that's wow. I'm glad you caught that, because I sure didn't. Oh my God! But anyway, yeah, that it's as you, Annabelle and Neal, know, for about 9 months this year, my life was just upside down, and you guys, it's back to normal starting next month, and so now I can enjoy all of this even more, and everything that's going on, and with the new films and Domitiano stuff, Astroplane Drifter, who knows, one day you might see me on TV saying, and the nominees for Best Actress are.
We never know. You know, look what happened to David Howard Thornton. He's rocketed.
I thought that.
And I mean, I will admit I'm 61 now, and which surprises me, because it's like, wait a minute, where did it all go? Here I am. So I'm hoping I do get to do a lot more, and just keep at it, because it's a blast. I swore that I would make the rest of my life my own party. And
I love that.
Oh, that was so great. And Annabelle got me that banana drink.
It was good.
It was good. It was good.
Drink.
But I think, but the first time I saw you guys was
using the Just for Men there. It's very dark beer.
Well, I think the first time I actually got to see you guys in person, though, was at the Once and Future Smash premiere.
Yes.
That was the time of my life too. That was so amazing. Mm-hmm. And the only regret is that Bill and I didn't get to get a photo together at that event. Yeah, he was like, oh, so, but otherwise, yeah, life's been good. I should have planned on that I was going to be able to be on here, because I would have had my cheesecake.
There's always another time, Todd.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, because when you said click on it, I was like, okay, and then here I am. Oh, and Ryan Harrison. Oh my God, Ninja Badass is now on my list of all-time favorite movies.
It's the best, isn't it? I love Ninja Badass.
That, and even at like what, it was 2 hours long. I was never bored.
The cut I saw was a little longer, actually, and then he cut it down a little bit since then. But
well, I was never bored, and I was laughing my ass off. I told him, I said, that is just, I was so envious. I didn't get to know him beforehand, because I sure would have loved to have had a part in that. But,
I love it, and for maybe you and him will be in. Maybe you won't have scenes together, but you both may be in a upcoming film here that will be filming.
Is that so?
Yes.
Is that so? I'm really happy what you did when you sent me that footage. Oh,
Hello.
I scared her away.
Well, suddenly there was a dude there. I don't know if the dude wanted to be there, but he's not.
He's just watching and
for a while, because I saw him about 20 minutes.
Yeah, he was in the back. I believe that's Melody's boyfriend or fiance.
Well, other than that, I wanted to mention to you guys. it's a good day today. I wasn't going to buy this because it was, I'm sorry, but it was way too expensive, but I wanted the slipcover. Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker arrived today.
Oh, nice.
And a reason I wanted to mention this is actress Joyce Bulifant, who's famous for playing the mother in Airplane.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The mother who's oblivious while her daughter's IV pops out of her arm. Joyce Bulifant comes into where I work a lot, and we love to chat. And the song Little Billy Boy, is that the name? There's a song in this movie. Joyce Bulifant wrote it. So she's in the credits. And then as a Fulci fan and Umberto Lenzi fan, my Houses of Doom set arrived with movies that were made for Italian TV but were too violent. So
really,
I got that. Today's a good day, man. And now here I am and talking about my sordid past.
You should be watching all that stuff right now.
What's that?
I know. This is more fun.
You have that playing in the background right now.
Yeah, well, I wish I would have had more light to show you. Maybe I can move
it on the fly. Brian, cool.
No, you can't see it, but my hippie dick tote bag is hanging on the wall there.
I see it. You and your light. You're so good.
Yeah.
Brian Cool here has a comment. Relevant here.
Who does?
Money saving with Miami.
Brian. Oh, Brian. Hey, Brian.
Oh.
I hope you're doing well, Brian. I know I won't say anything on the show. I've actually been worried about you. I'm glad to see you here.
Oh.
I'd give anything to be there. Joyce is a 70s game show icon. Love her.
If you look on YouTube.
Producer of Dog Soldiers, Brian O'Toole.
Oh my God. I've got the Second Sight set of that. I splurged on that. It's amazing. But Joyce Bulifant, because if you look up on YouTube for Match Game, especially Match Game, there's always scenes from that where she's doing something funny. But Joyce she's in her 80s and she's beautiful. I can guarantee it's not the kind of beautiful where you have work done. She's just her soul, and she's beautiful, and she always comes in and does this to me when she sees me, and she's going to bring me her book next time she comes in because she wrote a book. But besides meeting Eileen Dietz that one time, and that getting to see Joyce a lot is just a real joy. And Michael Ironside came in.
Oh,
recently.
Nice.
And
I'm a huge fan of Michael Ironside.
Well, when he came up to me with this woman, I looked at him and I said, "I know who you are." And he goes, "Oh yeah? Fuck off." Of course, he was joking. He's really snarky, and I told him, instead of saying, the usual movies that people mention that he's in, Starship Troopers and stuff like that, I said, Knuckleball, and he went, "You saw that?" He was so excited when I mentioned Knuckleball, which stars him and the guy that was in Turbo Kid, and he was in both of those movies too. But he told me, I guess I can tell you all, they are working on a Turbo Kid 2.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here from me. I'm so proud. But,
we had a brief interview with Michael Ironside, and it was for Turbo Kid. I'd love to have him back on if
I double dipped with that.
Good word.
Yeah.
Anytime a different edition came out of that, I went ahead and bought it because it's just the best. And but then, like I said, if you haven't seen Knuckleball, oh my God, it's amazing. And some people have said, well, it's like Home Alone. It's not. It's different than that. And besides that, if you want another good thriller that the kid is in, from a few years ago, it was a Dread Central release, Harpoon.
That was Monroe Chambers, the kid from Turbo Kid.
Yeah.
So
Todd would be the guy at the trivia who would nail it.
Yeah.
We were talking earlier about go into trivia and the people who just know all the things, you would be the person.
Well, let's put it this way. When I come into work, I will say I will say it here. I do work at a theater, but I won't say which because that's, I don't want that out. But when customers come in to see movies, I always have a stack of Blu-rays or DVDs on my podium. And when they come in to see something, I always say, when you get home, look for this. So now I have customers that come in that walk up to me and go, what do you recommend today? And I say, what are you seeing? And so it's like that. Like for when one's coming in to see Terrifier 3, I had my copy of Circus of the Dead with Bill Oberst ready to go and say, here, look for this one. And then just, if you want some gore, but you want practical effects, I would then have my DVD of The Boneyard, the one with Phyllis Diller and Norman Fell with the giant mutant poodle on it. You haven't heard of that one?
Did you see, Todd, that David Howard Thornton's going to be in Circus of the Dead too?
There's a sequel coming. Good. I thought there would be, but for me, Papa Corn is more sinister than art because Papa Corn, I want to say he's kind of real and he can talk, and there's just something much more frightening to me about him. And that movie, sure, it was a bunch of young people getting killed at a circus, but there was a story, and I really did enjoy that one. So
you haven't even seen Terrifier 3. I know you haven't.
I have. Okay, I've snuck in, and because we have theater checks, we go in and make sure the sound and the picture and people aren't on their phones and stuff like that. And I've watched some of it, and I'm just kind of like. I mean, I'm not going to go on about it because you guys already know how I feel about this film. I'm sorry,
and I think the audience could gather how you feel as well.
But Circus of the Dead.
Oh.
Yeah, Billy Pone's been on the show. Brian Toole, Monroe Chambers was in Degrassi, The Next Generation, in 2004's Godson, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So,
yeah,
real quick, when we had Monroe Chambers on, it was on a live show, and I was like, we're going to test taking phone calls during the guest, and we had just nonstop. I didn't realize he's like this huge sex symbol to like teen girls, and we just had nonstop girls calling in, like falling over themselves to talk to Monroe Chambers. So, and we stopped taking phone calls during the interviews. But
he's a cool guy. I mean, I don't know.
He was very cool. He's very cool.
Personally, I don't know if you guys got to talk to him, so but there's just something about his presence in movies that just commands your attention.
Yeah, I was really kind of surprised he came on because, he was, I know he's in Turbo Kid stuff, but he's also, like I said, he's like a teen heartthrob, especially at that time, a few years ago. And but he was really proud of Turbo Kid, so he did the interview.
I don't know how I found out about Turbo Kid, but I ordered it right away and just was like, oh, this is the coolest thing. I just wish there were. Well, I don't want to say wish there were more movies like it because then they wouldn't
stand out. But yeah, right. It was really sad. The guys who made that movie, because at that year, I think it was the most bootleg film.
Oh,
like, it was huge.
Didn't on bootleg get out? It got out before the release or something. Yeah.
And they were, asking fans not to torrent it, and then you get people like actually get mad about that. It's very strange. Like fans feel like, they have the right to. It's weird to get mad about it. You know what I mean?
I
then
think
they were just saying
sorry.
like, this is why we can't do. They're doing it now, but they had to wait years to do a sequel. It was a beloved movie, but they lost so much because people torrented it.
I wish I could do more to support.
100,000 illegal downloads in Germany for Cloud 1. 100,000. Like that's.
Yes, I remember. I think at the time I think Terminator. One of the Terminators had come out, and this was like it was higher torrented than that Terminator, and like it's like so people are like, oh, that's like a badge of honor, but they're like, no, it's not, because like. The Terminator movie is going to make a bunch of money at the theater regardless, but a lower budget movie isn't.
I try to support I try to support as much as I can. I feel really bad because I was a big supporter of Laurie Brewster's, Hex Studios. They brought back Amicus, and my name was always in the thank yous in their films, but the last 3 films, I mean, they're really on the ball making a lot of movies now, and I just can't keep up, so I can't afford to support even some of the smaller films anymore. But I do my best, and like I said at work, I will bring these movies like Ninja Badass and even Psycho. Oh, listen, you wouldn't believe how many people took pictures of the Psycho 8 2 Blu-ray I had. And, the other stuff, it's just, so I'm doing my part. I'm getting that stuff out there and doing what I can, but, I can only do so much. There's only so much of me.
Yeah. No, we understand. But that is, regardless what you think of Terrifier movies, it is nice that a low-budget movie is doing so well.
Well, you had In a Violent Nature.
Another one that did really well.
We had that one.
And would they have given In a Violent Nature a release if Terrifier 2 didn't do so well?
Here's the thing. When you were talking about this film is unrated back in the 80s when you had the days of Dawn of the Dead and Maniac.
Yeah.
Those would have been equal to an NC-17 because it said no one under 18 at all, not even with your parent.
Yeah.
Now, let's face it, the Terrifier movies, In a Violent Nature, those would have been NC-17, and theaters don't want to carry those because I think the last one we had was that Pedro Almodovar Bad Teacher, or forget what it was called, and they had to have an employee stationed outside the doors of that auditorium for the entire movie, and they don't want that to, So
I disagree though, because there's a disconnect right now between the studios and the and the theaters, and the studios are there's quite a few independent movies like Terrifier, but also several others that the studios are like, the theaters, I'm sorry, are kind of like F you to the studios who have been trying to put them out of business. And so it is a really good time right now as an independent movie to get into the theaters and go directly to them.
What they do is, I know that some of the chains have made some kind of deal where they know that they can make millions off of stuff like Terrifier, In a Violent Nature. So instead of releasing it with a rating and they have it NR, not rated, we still treat it as an R. We still we do not let kids in without their parent, and also after 6 p.m. children under 6 are not allowed in any R-rated movies. So we do have a lot of people who bring in 3, 4, 5, 6-year-olds to see Terrifier 3, which kind of
what theaters really make money on is the popcorn and the candy, and guess what? The Terrifier popcorn buckets.
Yeah, and they were already sold out when we got there.
As independent. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you guys off. As independent filmmakers, that is what we need to be thinking about: is how can we market within the theaters to make money that way for the theaters, and say F you to the studios.
And it's good to buy. It's good to buy the popcorn and all that too, because a lot of people don't realize when they complain about concessions prices. Yes, they're outrageous, but that's because basically employees' paychecks basically come from that intake. The studios get all the money, most of the money, huge, like this much goes to the theater, and everyone's paychecks come from concessions. And thankfully, from what I see, people are buying shit tons of popcorn and those buckets, and right now we have the Pennywise head popcorn things. Again, I'm not a big fan of the It movies, but I'm like, every time I see one of those popcorn heads come through, I get excited because, it's great because people get excited.
The first time I had ever seen this at the AMC this weekend, They have a whole merchandise like stand now with T-shirts and different things, and I thought that was actually really cool. I almost bought a Alien shirt, but they only had 3X left. It was a cool facehugger T-shirt, but they
So
never
Dave-
had that kind of stuff before.
Oh yeah.
Dave, what are you saying about trying to harness this kind of thing for indie films?
Was that a question for me?
Yes.
I think that we as the indie people that making movies, we can go straight to the theater. So Michael and yourself at CinemaCon, I think is in March in Vegas every year, and it's basically like the theaters and the studios. Studios have been trying to fuck the theaters for years out of money. So what happened with Terrifier? It wasn't like, I know it was fan based, but when they started making money, they were making money for the theaters, not the studios. So the theaters were like, hey, let's keep this movie in. And so the fan support kept the movie in, and the theaters made money, and the movie makers made money, which is the way it is supposed to work. Fuck the studios.
I'm happy because I keep hearing about physical media is dead, theaters are dead. From what I've seen, it's still going on. So I'm happy, of course.
Well, I always mention on the show when I go to the movies, besides like the big, Marvel movie, not just Marvel movies, but the big blockbuster movies, the independent horror movies, they play a lot at the theater, and they always have a pretty good crowd. Sometimes, a really good crowd.
I know it was a bigger film, and speaking of, I gotta say, it was the most graphic R-rated movie I've seen in years. Was The Substance?
Yeah,
that one did. I mean, the word of mouth after the first couple days, people just started pouring in, and what was so
I
funny,
really didn't even hear anything about it until I started seeing pop up on Facebook.
I got the poster too. I was thrilled, but I would warn people, especially elderly, really elderly people.
Yeah, they think,
Demi Moore,
nice Demi Moore movie. Yeah.
and they will. I'd say, what do you mean? I say, well, this movie is very graphic. It's what you'd call body horror. It's really, by the way, I would also recommend Brandon Cronenberg's Antiviral to those who like The Substance. But they would go, oh, okay, and I'd say, don't worry, if you leave within the first half hour, you can get refunded or something. But after that, you're on your own. And they were like, oh, I don't know. But then they would stick through the whole movie. We had a few walk out, but they would come out with looks on their faces like they were slapped. And I think what's so great, it reminds me of when Lee Daniels had that movie, The Paperboy. Do you remember that? With John Cusack, Nicole Kidman, and Zac Efron and his tidy whities through the whole movie. It just, that movie, especially Annabelle, you're nodding, did you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, remember the prison visitation scene? Between Nicole Kidman and John Cusack, where they're looking at each other?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, I love to stand outside the door of that auditorium when it let out. Because people looked like they were either goosed or they'd been slapped in the face, and it was just so great. The Substance was like that, and I was very happy that one stuck around for a while. And like I said, it was the most graphic R-rated movie. I was surprised at what would they have cut out on that one to keep it in R. But I'm just so happy that they are doing, and of course Neon's a bigger company. Didn't Neon also do Strange Darling, which we had? But
that's one I missed and I heard a lot about. I unfortunately didn't get to see it.
It's very confusing, but it's good that way, because if they would have put the movie linear, where everything happened in order, then you'd be like, nah, this is dumb. But how they switched it around.
Before this year, though, you wouldn't think of Neon as being like a prestigious, this year's Long Legs, and now.
But didn't they also release Neon Demon? Wasn't that a Neon?
They did, but I know the movie, and I really think the movie's great, but it didn't do a really big.
No, because it was in the stages where A24 was basically the weird horror movie studio to look at, and Neon was just kind of sneaking in there a little bit. But no, I'm really happy. And so, like you say, with the Terrifier 3, no, this is great because I mean, I do think that some people jump onto some movies for the wrong reason, but the fact that it's independent and they raise money on their own, and everything, that's amazing. And I'm all for. It was like even with Psycho 8 2, I was shocked at how, what was it, by the second day they had raised a surprising amount of money.
Like 15 grand or something. Yeah.
Well, at least by the first or second day, it was like over 6,000, and then it just jumped right up.
Up.
And that's so great that people are behind these. I gotta say, when I got my Blu-ray of Once and Future Smash, when I saw my name in the thank yous scrolling up the screen, I was just like, oh, a part of it, to me, that movie is gonna, especially over time, yes, that movie is going to really become, I think, a favorite. It'll be on list.
I hope so. Yeah.
It's So, and
a cheap plug coming up soon. It's very weird. I'm gonna actually be talking about this on Stuttering John podcast. People know Stuttering John from Howard Stern fame, so that's a pretty wild thing. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, the book.
All
right, David. Yeah, you've got it. Good.
I was saying, speaking
what is wrong with my?
I know it's pretty cool though. I think it's kind of trippy. I love it.
Yeah. What are you saying, Annabelle?
I'm saying, speaking of Stuttering John, I think maybe our John is.
Oh, we might have a sleeping John here. Oh, there he is. Brian O'Toole, I saw Dawn of the Dead for my 16th birthday. The theater demanded that each of my guests be accompanied by adults, so we saw Phantasm instead.
Was this the original Dawn of the Dead? Because that one was one of those no one under 18 films, which I'll confess I snuck into.
God.
Look, back in the 70s, if you missed out on a movie when it was in the theater, you had no idea if you were going to see it. So what happened was, a few months after it came out, and it didn't really do that much in St. Louis, Ronnie Six Cinema had a midnight show. So my aunt lived a half a mile away. So me and my friend, who was 17 and I was 16, picked her up. They bought tickets. We dropped her off back home, and then he and I just walked in. Now, I got to say, I never let kids get by me that way. But but back then, I got to admit, that and Halloween were the two movies that I snuck into, and I will not feel guilty about that.
Dave, Todd is an enforcer. I give him shit all the time. I sneak things in.
No, you guys, you're VIPs in my eyes, so I wouldn't. But the one thing I will warn people about, parents, if you're watching and you come by me, I won't let your kids into an R-rated movie, and then you show up and buy a ticket, and I tell you, you better stay through the whole movie. You better, because we know where you're seated, and parents will sacrifice $17 for a ticket, get their kids in, and then they walk out and exit.
Oh wow.
Todd is not having it.
And we yank those kids out. And it's funny, I got to tell you this. Some kids, when we pulled their kids out, because the mother went out a back exit, they texted her and said, oh, they're kicking us out. She came running. She had to go all the way around the complex to come back in. She came storming through the lobby and came up to me and said, I just want you to know that you're a C word. I wanted to say, well, that's Mr. C word to you, but I didn't want to start a thing. But all the employees were around and they were kind of laughing, and I just looked at her and I said, takes one to know one, honey. And she just, you're a C word, C word. She just kept yelling it, and then she grabbed her daughter's popcorn and threw it on the ground.
Wow.
All that for a movie they could watch on Netflix like a couple weeks later. So
pause for a moment, Todd. Dave, what is your contribution here? I heard you saying something. Todd gets very animated. He's like kind of like a Joe Castro. I don't know what would happen if they were in a room. It'd be
Oh, I'd
like,
love to meet Joe.
Oh my gosh.
I'm in a photo with
Like,
Joe.
we were on set like for Clown Motel 3. Yeah, like it's hilarious when like we were like meeting for like the Day of the Cicada like effects, and like I'm like, so we got to do this, and the cicadas have to fly here, and he's like, oh, but what if they ate your mom's face off? And so it was like fucking amazing. It was so fun, like it's amazing.
I loved. Is that you were mentioning Joe? Is that? Yeah,
Neal, I have to answer one thing real quick. Like, so you asked me earlier what my favorite movie of last year was. I think it was last year, When Evil Lurks. That shit scared me.
Good. Oh my god, what an amazing film!
Yeah, that was my favorite movie of that year. We had the director on, and I think that's gonna go down as like I think that director's gonna go on to be like, a big time, in the horror.
You didn't even believe it. It's like you're amazing and you're going places. It's just shy.
That movie's been. We were lucky. We saw it at the theater. It was played at the AMC, and we really didn't know anything about it. We just like, oh, we'll go see it. It sounds interesting, and we were blown away. And then having him on the show was like you said, he was so humble. He didn't even think like, no one cares about this.
I had no idea. I walked up to the theater and I had no idea, and I was just like, what the fuck? It's such a brilliant movie. I love it. I love it when we
and it's super dark. And
I would really love to know, David, if you've ever seen from the director of Martyrs, Incident in a Ghostland.
No.
It's from the director of Martyrs. It's in English, and one reason I love it is the mother is played by French pop singer Mylène Farmer. But that one you want disturbing, not as graphic as Where Evil Lurks, but Incident in a Ghostland. It messes with your head.
That is a really good.
What year?
Jason was doing a reviews.
2018, I think. Here's the deal. If you get it,
I think it played at Fright Fest the year Jason and I went.
Well, here in the United States, it was released bare bones, I think, on a vertical DVD. I mean, no extras. But if you get the Region B Arrow Blu-ray, it's got like an hour-long documentary, everything. I have an all-region player, but Incident in a Ghostland, especially if you get the Arrow Blu-ray import, it'll be like at the top of your list.
Honestly, that stuff is worth the money. Arrow and Vinegar Syndrome, and they put out like just these great. There's so many extras. So if you really love movies and don't want to just watch a movie, you want to see all the other stuff. That's the way to go.
Yeah, a friend of mine does interviews for Vinegar Syndrome on some of their releases. I unfortunately can't keep up with Vinegar Syndrome anymore. For instance, November 1st, they've got 17 new releases. 17. Oh. I'm like,
wow.
No.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to edit movies. I can't watch any.
Oh, Severin, of course. They sent us. Have you ever seen this one, Todd? I'm kind of scared to watch it. The Creature.
Oh, yeah. I saw it so long ago that I don't remember all of it. So I'm going to have to. I didn't order that one, but it's on my list. Actually, then the one you would be thrilled about, speaking of fun labels, from Umbrella, they just released Intruder, the Raimi thing.
With the guy who just passed away recently from Evil Dead 2.
I mean, Synapse has a good release, but this one has more stuff on it, and it's all region.
That's for people out there who love slasher movies, and you've seen all. This is a super underrated slasher movie. Intruder. It's got some of the coolest kills in it.
Yeah, it's
one in particular.
Yeah, it's a good one, and I mean it is. I mean, this would be the uncut version, I assume, because the Synapse one is. But that one had my jaw dropping a few times. So
Brian O'Toole's over there being very interactive. Brian should come on. Maybe not now. Actually, I have to go because I have.
Oh no!
I have to work. I have
Tonight?
that
Oh, I
whole
do too tomorrow, I
bad
admit.
job.
Mother's Day, NC-17
Ah.
classic, Day of the Cicada. We will wait 17 years for a sequel. I love this.
Yeah,
Before you
actually,
go,
yes, I've already thought about it. I shot additional footage, kind of like Phantasm. So,
Oh, wow.
spoiler.
all right, I've got something to show before you go, Annabelle.
Okay.
You have to stay here for this.
Okay.
All right. How y'all doing? This is Ed Gwynn. You probably remember me from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm the guy that saved Sally, killed the hitchhiker, made a mess on an old highway in Texas. I'm here to tell you about Arbor Day. It's a new movie that I've been invited to appear in. And my good friend Neal plays the part of the character Steve, who's a little thick in the head, but he means well. And don't call me Pete, even though my character's name is Peter Build, but that's okay. Story for another time. Let me tell you a little bit about what we're doing. So in these deep and dark, scary woods, Steve and his buddies are looking for and hunting for a tree, a dangerous, scary tree. So you got the scary woods and a scary tree. Yikes. The only way that this movie can get made, however, is if you guys will pitch in and help us build that scary tree. And we'll put Pete on the trail and Steve in there with his chainsaw and his whatever he uses. We'll find out once you guys contribute a little bit. Look forward to seeing you when you do. Toodaloo. Peter Build out.
Neal, he's gonna be in tomorrow. Tomorrow. You sure?
I mean, for people watching my wrestling show last night, my mom fell during the show, and I can't really leave her here by herself.
Troy can come and take care of her.
This is not going to work out.
Oh,
but yeah, for people in the area, it's going to be pretty sweet. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Was that?
Is she all right?
I mean, she'll be okay, but she can't really get around very good or like make food and stuff. So
I can't either.
If people were watching last night, I was gone for quite a while. And Troy came on the show and took my place for a while. That was good.
Well, I have to go, and I'm very sad for your mom because that sucks. And I'm also sad that you will not be at the event.
I'm just happy to see you.
Happy to see you. Happy to see all y'all. Very nice to meet Dave.
See you on November 16th.
Oh.
LA. You're going to do it.
I would love to.
Get on the plane with Neal.
What day of the week is that, anyways?
What week is that?
What day of the week?
What day of the week?
16th is a Saturday.
Yes.
And there's a whole getting a hotel.
Oh my goodness.
Dave.
Oh.
I have a job, and that doesn't mean I get paid
horror. Support indie horror.
Well, we will definitely support it. We'll have you on the show to talk about it and the cast and everything like that. So
if I suddenly come upon some, not $1 million, some reasonable amount of money, then I would love to be there. I'm sure Neal would love to be there.
Of course, yeah.
It'd be nice to head out.
So.
What's that?
So. Neal's gonna be there. He said so.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll figure out. Hopefully, I can. We'll figure out. Yeah. No, I want to be, of course. Yeah. But all right. So I think we'll wrap it up, though. This has been a really fun show. The guest didn't come through, but I think it turned out even better. I thought it was
all-in show.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. So pay attention. We'll on future shows, we'll throw the link out there maybe after the guest is on and talk to everybody. It's a good time.
Yeah. Right.
It's fun time, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, David and Annabelle and Neal.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Were you saying something quick, John?
I did my plug my book.
Oh, what's your book? Yeah. How can people get your book?
Symptoms of the Universe. I tribute to Black Sabbath. A horror tribute to Black Sabbath. All proceeds go to charities. Running right off of it.
All right, yeah, and send me the link where to get it, and we'll put it up on the website.
John is an extremely talented writer. Extremely talented writer.
I have a lot of stuff coming out in the near future.
Mm-hmm.
I can show you something later on. Like you told me to post it on your wall at one point.
Yeah, send me the link, and I'll put it up on the main website.
And Neal, before we go, I really want to know from David, since I joined in late, when can we expect Day of the Cicada?
If you're in LA, we're doing the premiere on November 16th, and it's again, we kind of had the conversation about like distribution and weird stuff, so I don't really know right
okay,
now.
but I mean, at least I know that it's coming. So I was that, because to me that title alone, I'll see it for the title.
Love it.
God, it's not super far from you.
Well, also in November there is a screening of Psycho Ape 1 and 2 in Gardena sometime too, so people can check that out.
Mm. Well,
all right, so we're gonna play us out with that just dropped today, the trailer for the reboot of Street Track.
oh, sweet.
And then we'll be back next week. So let's check this out. All right, that looks amazing.